Imagine standing on the vast, rolling plains of the steppe, where the horizon stretches infinitely, painted with the hues of sunrise and sunset. This land, often seen as desolate, is teeming with life and history, a testament to the resilience of its inhabitants. Here, the winds whisper tales of the Sarmatians, a nomadic warrior people who roamed these expansive landscapes over 2,000 years ago. Their legacy, though often overshadowed by more famous civilizations, is woven intricately into the fabric of our understanding of ancient cultures and the dynamics of power in Eurasia. The steppe frontier, this remarkable region spanning from the eastern edges of Europe to Western Asia, has always been a crossroads of cultures, ideas, and conquests. It is a land where the sky meets the earth, where the pulse of the wind carries with it the stories of those who dared to inhabit its unforgiving terrain. Among these, the Sarmatians stand out not just for their fierce reputation as warriors, but for their profound influence on the civilizations that surrounded them. Emerging around the 5th century BCE, the Sarmatians were a nomadic people who inherited the legacy of the Scythians, another formidable group of horse-riding warriors. They thrived in a world dominated by shifting alliances and constant conflicts, carving out a niche that would allow them to flourish amidst adversity. As we delve into their story, we uncover not only their martial prowess, but also their rich cultural identity, their social structures, and their interactions with neighboring tribes and empires. The Sarmatian society was not merely about warfare, it was deeply rooted in the traditions of their ancestors. They were skilled horsemen, adept at navigating the rolling hills and vast plains of the steppe. Their horses were not just a means of transport, they were a symbol of status and power. It is said that a Sarmatian without a horse was akin to a king without a crown. With their remarkable horsemanship came the art of warfare, which was as much about strategy as it was about brute strength. They mastered mounted archery, a skill that allowed them to strike swiftly and retreat before the enemy could retaliate. It was a dance of death on horseback, a deadly ballet that left an indelible mark on the history of warfare. As we explore the Sarmatians further, we encounter their burial practices, which offer a glimpse into their beliefs and values. The Sarmatian elite were often buried in elaborate tombs, accompanied by rich grave goods that reflected their status and lifestyle. These tombs revealed a wealth of information about their culture, from the intricate jewelry they adorned to the weapons they wielded. The presence of female warriors in these burial sites challenges our preconceived notions of gender roles in ancient societies. Women were not mere bystanders in Sarmatian life. They were active participants in both warfare and governance, a testament to the egalitarian nature of their society. But the Sarmatians were not a monolithic entity. They were a collection of tribes, each with its own customs and traditions, yet bound together by a common language and culture. This diversity allowed them to adapt and thrive in an ever-changing world. Their interactions with the neighboring Greeks, Persians, and later the Romans shaped their identity and propelled them into the annals of history. The Sarmatians traded with these civilizations, exchanging goods, ideas, and technologies. They were not just warriors, they were diplomats, merchants, and cultural ambassadors. The arrival of the Romans marked a significant turning point in Sarmatian history. As the Roman Empire expanded its reach, the Sarmatians found themselves at a crossroads. They could either submit to the might of Rome or carve out their own destiny. The Sarmatians chose defiance. They engaged in fierce battles against Roman legions, showcasing their agility and tactical brilliance. The Romans, known for their discipline and organization, faced unexpected challenges on the steppe, where the vastness of the terrain favored the mobility of the Sarmatians. Yet the Sarmatians were not merely foes to be vanquished, they were also allies of convenience, sometimes joining forces with the Romans to combat mutual enemies. This complex relationship highlights the fluidity of alliances in the ancient world, where enemies could quickly become friends in the face of a common threat. It is in these moments of cooperation and conflict that the true spirit of the Sarmatians emerges, a people who understood the importance of adaptability and resilience. As we navigate through the annals of history, we discover how the Sarmatians influenced the cultures around them. Their art, characterized by intricate designs and motifs, found its way into the fabric of neighboring civilizations. The Sarmatian horsemen became legendary, their stories echoing through time, inspiring tales of bravery and adventure. They left an indelible mark on the cultures of Eastern Europe, shaping the identities of future generations. The decline of the Sarmatian power in the 4th century CE was not an end, but a transformation. As new tribes emerged and the landscape of power shifted, the Sarmatians adapted once again. They blended with other cultures, their legacy morphing into new forms. The descendants of the Sarmatians can be traced through the history of the Slavic peoples and beyond, a testament to the enduring power of their spirit. In reflecting on the Sarmatians, we uncover not just a narrative of warriors and battles, but a rich tapestry of human experience. They embody the struggle for identity, the quest for survival, and the intricate dance of cultural exchange. Their story invites us to consider the complexities of history, where every tribe, every civilization plays a role in the grand narrative of humanity. As we conclude our journey through the steppe frontier, we are left with a profound appreciation for the resilience of the Sarmatians. Their legacy continues to inspire and challenge our understanding of the past. In a world that often seeks to categorize and simplify, the story of the Sarmatians reminds us of the beauty of complexity, the power of adaptability, and the enduring spirit of those who dare to roam the endless horizons of the steppe. Imagine a vast landscape where the winds whisper tales of nomads galloping across the steppes, their silhouettes framed against the setting sun. These were the Scythians, fierce warriors and master horsemen, whose legacy carved deep into the fabric of history. As we journey through the origins and identity of these remarkable people, we unravel a rich tapestry that connects them to their successors, the Sarmatians, who would rise from the ashes of their predecessors. The story of the Scythians begins around the 8th century BCE, in the expansive regions of what we now know as Ukraine and southern Russia. They were not merely a single tribe, but rather a confederation of groups, weaving together a culture defined by their profound connection to horses and the rugged terrain they roamed. The Scythians were adept at archery, using their composite bows with remarkable precision. Their mobility allowed them to dominate the Eurasian steppes, crafting a legacy marked by both conquest and trade. Yet what does it mean to be a Scythian? It is a question that has intrigued historians and archaeologists alike. Some suggest that their identity was fluid, shaped by the tribe's interactions with neighboring cultures and the environment itself. The Scythians were known for their elaborate burial mounds, or kurgans, which served not only as final resting places for their chieftains but also as symbolic markers of power. Inside these tumuli, artifacts tell stories of a rich spiritual life, adorned with intricate goldwork, weapons, and pottery that reflect their beliefs and social structure. As we delve deeper, we encounter the Sarmatians, who emerged around the 5th century BCE, gradually absorbing Scythian territories and, in many ways, their identity. The transition from Scythian to Sarmatian is not merely a tale of conquest. It is a narrative interwoven with cultural exchange, adaptation, and resilience. The Sarmatians, like their predecessors, were skilled horsemen, but they also began to incorporate elements from the cultures they encountered, including the Greeks and the Persians. The Sarmatians expanded their influence across a broader region, pushing westward into Europe and southward into the lands of the Mediterranean. Their warriors became renowned for their distinctive armor and weapons, which were often made from a blend of local and foreign materials. They were not just conquerors but traders and diplomats, forging alliances that would alter the dynamics of power in the ancient world. Yet, the identity of the Sarmatians was not solely defined by warfare. They developed a rich cultural life reflected in their art and social organization. Unlike the Scythians, who were primarily nomadic, the Sarmatians began to establish more permanent settlements, leading to a fascinating blend of nomadic and sedentary lifestyles. This transition allowed them to cultivate agriculture alongside their traditional pastoral practices, creating a more complex social structure that included craftsmen, traders, and warriors. One cannot discuss the Sarmatians without acknowledging the role of women in their society. Historical accounts and archaeological evidence suggest that Sarmatian women enjoyed a level of freedom and respect that was rare in many ancient cultures. They were often depicted riding horses and engaging in combat, challenging the traditional gender norms of their time. This portrayal resonates with the warrior ethos that permeated their society, offering a glimpse into a world where women could wield power and influence alongside men. As we trace the lineage from Scythians to Sarmatians, we confront the question of identity. What does it mean to belong to a people? The Scythians and Sarmatians are not just names in history books. They represent a continuum of culture, language, and tradition that shape the identities of future generations. The blending of their legacies laid the groundwork for the myriad of tribes that would follow, each contributing to the rich mosaic of Eurasian history. The decline of the Sarmatians in the 4th century CE marks a pivotal moment in this narrative. Facing pressures from external forces, including the rise of the Huns and internal strife, the once great confederation began to fragment. Yet, even in their decline, the Sarmatians left a lasting impression on the regions they inhabited. Their interactions with the Romans, for instance, influenced military strategies and cultural exchanges that would ripple through time. As we reflect on the journey from Scythians to Sarmatians, we are reminded of the enduring power of identity. These ancient peoples were not static. They evolved, adapted, and transformed in response to their environment and the challenges they faced. Their story is one of resilience, a reminder that identity is not merely inherited, but forged through the crucible of history. The winds of the steppes still carry echoes of their legacy, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people who roamed vast landscapes, eternally intertwined with the land they called home. As we close this chapter on origins and identity, we are left with a profound appreciation for the Scythians and Sarmatians, who not only shaped their world, but continue to inspire the search for identity in our own time. In the next chapter, we will explore the cultural and artistic expressions of these remarkable societies, delving into the artifacts that speak volumes about their beliefs, values, and the world they inhabited. Join us as we peel back the layers of time and discover the fascinating narratives captured in the art and craftsmanship of the Scythians and Sarmatians. Their stories are waiting to be told, and the journey is just beginning. Across vast plains and rugged mountains, a bond as old as civilization itself thrives. This is the story of the horse people, a tapestry woven with threads of history, culture, and an unparalleled relationship with a noble creature, the horse. From the wind-swept steppes of Mongolia to the sun-drenched deserts of the American West, these people have not only mastered the saddle, but have built entire livelihoods and identities around their equine companions. Imagine a world where the sound of hooves pounding the earth is not just a rhythm, but the heartbeat of a community. These horse people, whether they are the nomadic herders of Central Asia or the cowboys of North America, have shaped their lives around the unique abilities and characteristics of horses. Their stories are filled with adventure, resilience, and an innate understanding of these magnificent animals. Throughout history, Horses have been more than mere transportation. They have been partners in labor, companions in leisure, and symbols of status. The relationship between humans and horses can be traced back over 5,000 years, originating in the steppes of Eurasia. Here, the domestication of the horse opened up new horizons for humanity, allowing for the spread of cultures, ideas, and trade. But who are the masters of this ancient bond? What secrets do they hold, and how have they adapted to the changing tides of time? To understand the horse people, one must first grasp the essence of the horse itself. These magnificent animals possess an extraordinary sensitivity and intelligence, capable of perceiving human emotions and responding in kind. The horse people have learned to communicate with their steeds in a language that transcends words, relying on subtle cues and deep trust. This connection forms the backbone of their way of life, influencing everything from daily chores to intricate rituals. In Mongolia, the nomadic herders embody this relationship. Their lives revolve around the horse, which is not simply a means of transportation, but a lifeline in a harsh and unforgiving landscape. The Mongolian horse, small yet hardy, is ideally suited for the vast grasslands and extreme weather conditions. It is a creature bred for endurance, and in the hands of the skilled horseman, it becomes a trusted partner in the quest for survival. Every summer, the Nardam festival draws people from all corners of Mongolia to celebrate their rich cultural heritage. Among the events, horse racing stands as a cornerstone, showcasing the incredible bond between rider and steed. Thousands gather to witness the spectacle as young jockeys, often as young as 6 years old, race across the open plains atop their agile mounts. These children, trained in the art of horsemanship from a tender age, display remarkable skill and bravado, embodying the spirit of their ancestors. But the bond with horses is not limited to the steppes of Mongolia. In the vast expanse of the American West, the cowboy culture tells a different yet equally compelling story. Here, the horse is synonymous with freedom, adventure, and the pioneering spirit. As cattle ranching flourished in the 19th century, cowboys emerged as the quintessential horsemen, navigating the rugged terrain and herding cattle across vast ranches. The cowboy's life is not just about the thrill of the ride. It is steeped in tradition, with time-honored practices passed down through generations. The art of roping, branding, and caring for cattle requires an intimate understanding of both horse and herd. The bond forged between a cowboy and their horse is one of mutual respect and reliance, enabling them to work seamlessly as a team. As we delve deeper into the lives of these horse people, we uncover the intricate rituals and customs that celebrate their relationship with horses. In the Andes of South America, the Quechua people hold festivals that honor the horse as a sacred creature, integral to their way of life. During the Inti Raymi, or Festival of the Sun, horses are adorned with colorful decorations and paraded through the streets as a symbol of prosperity and connection to the earth. In contrast, the Bedouins of the Arabian Peninsula have a long-standing tradition of breeding the purest of horses, the Arabian steed. Revered for their beauty and endurance, these horses are not merely animals, but embodiments of a rich heritage. The Bedouins' relationship with their horses is deeply spiritual, intertwined with their nomadic lifestyle and the harsh desert environment. They are masters of the saddle, able to navigate the dunes with grace and agility, embodying the very essence of adaptability. Yet, as we explore these diverse cultures, we must also acknowledge the challenges faced by the horse people in the modern world. Urbanization, climate change, and shifting economies threaten to disrupt age-old traditions. The nomadic herders of Mongolia grapple with the encroachment of mining industries on their grazing lands, while the American cowboy faces the decline of ranching due to modern agricultural practices. The very essence of their identity is at stake, and yet the horse people continue to fight for their way of life. In Mongolia, Initiatives are underway to promote sustainable herding practices and preserve traditional horsemanship against the backdrop of a rapidly changing world. The resilience of these communities is a testament to their deep-rooted connection to the land and their horses. Similarly, in the American West, organizations are working tirelessly to support ranchers and promote the cowboy way of life, ensuring that future generations inherit this rich legacy. The story of the horse people is not just one of survival. It is a celebration of the harmonious relationship between humans and horses. It is a reminder of the lessons we can learn from these masters of the saddle, lessons of trust, respect, and the spirit of adventure. As we reflect on their journeys, we are invited to consider our own connections to the natural world and the creatures that share it with us. So, as we gallop through the annals of history, through the plains, mountains, and deserts, we come to realize that the horse people are not merely riders but custodians of a legacy that transcends time. They remind us that, in the dance between human and horse, there exists a profound understanding, one that speaks to the heart of what it means to be alive, to be free, and to embrace the journey ahead. Imagine a vast, unending expanse of grassland where the horizon stretches into infinity, kissed by the golden hues of dawn and dusk. This is the realm of the steppe, a place where the winds carry the whispers of ancient warriors and their legendary feats. These warriors, often mounted on nimble steeds, wielded weapons that not only defined their culture, but also shaped the course of history. Today, we delve into the formidable arsenal of the nomads of the steppe: lances, bows, and armor. The lance, a signature weapon of the horseman, stands tall among the rest. Picture a rider, poised and agile atop a galloping horse, spear in hand, charging towards the enemy with the ferocity of a thunderstorm. The lance, often made of lightweight wood and tipped with iron, was designed to maximize speed and impact. Its length allowed for striking from a distance, enabling the warrior to engage foes while maintaining the safety of distance. The steppe tribes, particularly the Mongols and the Huns, perfected the use of the lance. Its effectiveness lay not just in its design, but also in the skill of the rider. Mastery of the lance required years of practice, as warriors learned to balance their weight, control their horses, and deliver a decisive thrust, all in the heat of battle. But what made the lance truly formidable was the strategy behind its use. The nomadic tribes understood the principles of mobility and surprise. They would often employ hit-and-run tactics, using their lances to strike swiftly before retreating into the cover of the vast steppe. This guerrilla warfare style was not just about brute strength. It was a calculated dance of agility and precision. The combination of speed and the lance's reach allowed these warriors to decimate larger, more heavily armored forces. They became masters of the open field, turning the steppe into their battlefield, and the lance became an extension of their very being. As we shift our focus, we encounter another weapon that played a pivotal role in the steppe's military legacy: the bow. The bow, unlike the lance, offered the element of stealth and precision. With arrows that could fly silently through the air, the bowman became a ghost on the battlefield. The composite bow, crafted from wood, horn, and sinew, was a marvel of engineering. Its design allowed for a powerful draw, enabling warriors to shoot arrows with incredible force and distance. The craftsmanship involved in creating a bow was a sacred art, passed down through generations. Each bow was unique, a reflection of the skill and creativity of its maker. Archers were revered not only for their skill, but also for their ability to rain down arrows from horseback. Imagine a line of mounted archers drawing back their bows in unison, unleashing a deadly flurry upon their enemies. This tactic, known as the feigned retreat, involved archers pretending to flee, drawing their enemies into a vulnerable position before turning and showering them with arrows. The psychological impact of such maneuvers was immense. A single volley could shift the tides of battle, instilling fear and confusion among enemy ranks. But the bow was not merely a weapon of war, it was an integral part of the nomadic lifestyle. Beyond the battlefield, bows were essential for hunting, providing sustenance for the tribes. The skill required to hunt game with a bow translated seamlessly into the art of warfare. Every warrior was a hunter, every hunt a practice for the inevitable battles that lay ahead. The bond between the archer and their bow was profound, a connection forged through countless hours of practice, the thrill of the hunt, and the honor of defending their tribe. As we explore further, we must not overlook the protective gear that adorned these fearsome warriors, the armor of the steppe. Unlike the heavy plate armor of their European counterparts, steppe armor was designed for mobility. Crafted from materials like leather, iron, and even silk, it provided essential protection without sacrificing the agility needed for horseback combat. The famous lamella armor, composed of small overlapping plates, allowed warriors to move freely while offering defense against arrows and lances. Each piece of armor was a testament to the warrior's status and skill. Ornate decorations and intricate patterns often adorned these protective garments, reflecting the artistry of the culture. Warriors took great pride in their armor, not just for its protective qualities, but as a symbol of their identity. It was a blend of function and form, designed for the battlefield but beautiful enough to be worn in times of peace. However, the true genius of steppe armor lay in its adaptability. As nomadic tribes moved across vast landscapes, their armor evolved to meet the challenges of different terrains and enemies. The lightweight nature of their gear allowed for rapid movement, crucial when engaging in the hit-and-run tactics that defined their warfare strategy. The armor was a tool of survival, a means to protect oneself while maintaining the speed necessary for the fight. As we piece together the narrative of the steppe warriors, it becomes evident that their weapons were more than mere tools of war. Lances, bows, and armor were extensions of their culture, embodiments of their values, and reflections of their way of life. The steppe was not just a geographic location. It was a crucible of innovation and resilience, where every warrior was both a soldier and a craftsman, a hunter and a protector. In this world, a bond formed between the horse and rider was sacred. The bond was not merely one of utility, it was a partnership forged through the shared experience of battle and survival. The horse, with its strength and speed, became an essential ally, enabling warriors to traverse the vast steppes with unparalleled agility. This symbiotic relationship further enhanced the effectiveness of their weaponry, as the rider learned to wield a lance or bow with precision while maintaining control over their steed. As we conclude our exploration of the weapons of the steppe, we can appreciate how these tools shaped the lives and destinies of the nomadic tribes. They were not simply instruments of war, they were the lifeblood of a culture that revered the art of combat and the spirit of freedom. The legacy of these warriors endures in the echoes of history, reminding us of a time when the horizon was not just a boundary, but an invitation to adventure, conquest, and survival. As the sun sets over the steppe, casting long shadows across the grasslands, we are left with the knowledge that the story of these warriors is far from over. Their spirit lives on, reminding us of the resilience of the human spirit, the elegance of craftsmanship, and the enduring bond between man, horse, and weapon. In the annals of history, the lances, bows, and armor of the steppe are not merely artifacts. They are testimonies of an indomitable will, a legacy that continues to inspire and intrigue. Legends have a way of transcending time, weaving through the fabric of history, whispering stories of valor and courage from generation to generation. Among these tales, the legend of the Amazon warriors stands tall, a poignant testament to the strength of women who defied societal norms and fought fiercely for their freedom. Imagine a world where bravery was not confined by gender, where women took up arms and carved their destinies amidst the chaos of war. This is not merely a story of combat. It is a narrative of empowerment, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of the women who dared to challenge the status quo. The Amazons, as they are often referred to, are shrouded in mystery and myth, their existence debated by historians and scholars alike. Yet, their impact on cultures across the globe is undeniable. These fierce warriors are said to have roamed the vast expanses of the ancient world, from the steppes of Central Asia to the lush landscapes of the Amazon rainforest. But what lies at the core of this legend? How did these women become symbols of defiance and strength, inspiring generations to come? To understand the roots of the Amazon legend, we must journey back to ancient times, where stories were shared around fires and passed down through oral traditions. The earliest accounts of the Amazons can be traced to the works of ancient Greek historians and poets. Herodotus, often called the father of history, was among the first to document their existence. He portrayed them as formidable warriors, skilled in battle and unyielding in spirit. The tales of their exploits spread like wildfire, capturing the imaginations of many, including the likes of Alexander the Great, who sought to conquer their lands. But what fueled the legend? The answer lies in the societal structures of the times. In many ancient cultures, women were relegated to the shadows, their roles confined to domestic spheres. Yet, among the nomadic tribes of the Scythians, the Amazons emerged as a radical departure from this norm. Here, women fought alongside men, wielded weapons, and participated in hunts, embodying a sense of equality that was revolutionary for their time. They were not simply warriors, they were leaders, mothers, and guardians of their tribes, showcasing the multifaceted roles women could play in society. As we delve deeper into the lore surrounding these incredible women, we must acknowledge the rich tapestry of cultures that contributed to the Amazon legend. From the steppes of Eurasia to the dense jungles of South America, the concept of female warriors resonates across continents. The Amazonian tribes of Brazil, for instance, have their own narratives of fierce women who defended their lands against colonizers, blending the myth of the Amazons with the historical struggles faced by indigenous peoples. In the early encounters with European explorers and conquerors, stories emerged of fearless women leading their tribes against the encroaching forces. These narratives were often embellished, yet they reveal a profound truth about the strength and resilience of these women. They fought not just for their survival, but for their identities and legacies, ensuring that their voices echoed through time. As we navigate through the annals of history, we find that the Amazon legend is not solely defined by their warrior prowess. It is also a narrative of sisterhood and solidarity. The Amazons were said to have formed close-knit communities, where women supported one another in both times of peace and war. This sense of camaraderie fostered a bond that transcended the battlefield, creating a culture rooted in mutual respect and empowerment. Imagine the breath of life within their camps, where laughter and stories mingled with the sounds of clashing swords. These women shared the spoils of their victories and mourned their losses together, cultivating a spirit of resilience that would outlast generations. It is this essence of sisterhood that continues to inspire women today, reminding them that strength is amplified in unity. The Amazon warriors also challenged the traditional narratives surrounding femininity. In a world that often associates womanhood with gentleness and passivity, the Amazons embraced their ferocity, redefining what it meant to be a woman. They were skilled horse riders, archers, and fighters, breaking free from the constraints of societal expectations. Their legacy serves as a powerful reminder that femininity can coexist with strength and bravery, shattering the stereotypes that have persisted throughout history. As we reflect on the legacy of the Amazons, we must confront the implications of their story in contemporary society. The symbol of the Amazon warrior has been resurrected in modern times, inspiring movements advocating for women's rights and empowerment across the globe. From literature to film, the image of the fierce female warrior resonates with those who seek to challenge inequality and injustice. The spirit of the Amazons lives on, urging women to rise, to fight for their rights, and to embrace their power. Yet, the tale of the Amazons is not merely a relic of the past. It serves as a call to action for the present and future. Women today are still engaged in battles against systemic oppression, gender inequality, and cultural stereotypes. The Amazon legend provides a framework for understanding these struggles, illustrating the importance of resilience and solidarity in the face of adversity. As we draw our exploration of the Amazon warriors to a close, it becomes clear that their legacy transcends the boundaries of time and geography. They are more than just figures of mythology. They are archetypes of strength and empowerment. The stories of their lives continue to inspire and resonate, reminding us that the fight for equality and justice is ongoing. In a world that often seeks to silence women, the Amazon warriors stand as a testament to the power of the feminine spirit. They remind us that true strength lies not just in physical prowess, but in the courage to defy norms, challenge injustices, and uplift one another. As we carry their stories forward, let us remember that every woman has the potential to be a warrior in her own right. So, as you walk through the world today, remember the Amazons. Let their legacy inspire you to embrace your strength, to stand up for what you believe in, and to foster the bonds of sisterhood that can empower us all. The Amazon legend is not just a story of the past. It is a living narrative that continues to shape our present and future. In every challenge faced and every victory won, we honor the spirit of the warrior women who came before us, forging paths for those who will follow. Imagine standing on a vast, rolling landscape where the gentle hum of nature intertwines with whispers of the past. Beneath the surface, unseen stories lie waiting to be uncovered. These are the burial mounds, ancient structures that hold the secrets of civilizations long gone. They stand as silent sentinels, guarding the memories of those who came before us. Today, we embark on a journey into the world of burial mounds, exploring their significance, the mysteries they hold, and the insights they provide into the lives and beliefs of ancient peoples. Burial mounds, also known as tumuli or barrows, have existed across various cultures and continents. Each mound is unique, shaped by the traditions and practices of the people who constructed them. From the majestic earthen mounds of the Native American tribes to the enigmatic stone structures found in Europe and Asia, these monuments serve as both tombs and ceremonial sites, marking the final resting places of the deceased. But what drives humanity to erect such monumental structures? What do they reveal about our ancestors' relationship with death, the afterlife, and the earth itself? As we delve deeper into the history of burial mounds, we find ourselves drawn to a particular site nestled in the lush valleys of the Ohio River. Here lies a testament to the advanced societies that thrived in North America long before European contact. The Adena culture, flourishing from 1000 BCE to 200 CE, left behind an impressive array of earthen mounds, some reaching heights of over 60 feet. These structures were not merely graves. They were intricate representations of social hierarchy, spirituality, and cultural identity. The Adena mounds are characterized by their distinctive conical shape, often surrounded by a circular embankment. Archaeologists have uncovered a wealth of artifacts within these mounds, including tools, pottery, and intricate jewelry, indicating that the individuals buried here were of significant status. The presence of ochre, a pigment often associated with death and the afterlife, suggests that these mounds were places of ritual significance. They were not just final resting places. They were gateways to another realm where the living could connect with the spirits of their ancestors. Yet, the Adena culture is just one thread in the vast tapestry of burial mounds. As we traverse the globe, we encounter the effigy mounds of the Hopewell culture, also in North America. These mounds take on various forms, often resembling animals or symbols that held meaning for the people who built them. The Great Serpent Mound, for instance, winds its way across the landscape, its sinuous shape capturing the imagination of all who behold it. Scholars believe that these mounds served not only as burial sites but also as ceremonial spaces, linking the earthbound to the celestial. In Europe, we find ourselves standing before the ancient passage tombs of Newgrange in Ireland, a site that predates the pyramids of Giza by over 5,000 years. This monumental structure, with its meticulously crafted stones, was built to align with the winter solstice, allowing the first rays of sunlight to illuminate the inner chamber. Here, the dead were honored, their spirits believed to rise with the sun, ushering in a new cycle of life. The connection between death and the cosmos is a recurring theme in burial mound structures, echoing the universal human quest to understand our place in the universe. As we explore these sacred sites, we also confront the challenges of preservation and understanding that modern archaeology faces. Many burial mounds have suffered from neglect, natural erosion, or even deliberate destruction over the centuries. As we strive to protect these ancient structures, we must also grapple with the ethical implications of excavation and the need to respect the cultures that created them. How do we balance the desire for knowledge with the reverence owed to those who rest beneath the earth? The story of burial mounds does not end with their construction. It continues through the rituals and practices that surround them. The act of burial itself is laden with significance, varying from culture to culture. For some, it is a solemn farewell, a chance to honor the dead with offerings and ceremonies. For others, it is a celebration of life, a vibrant expression of community and connection. In the northern plains of the United States, the Lakota people have long practiced the tradition of placing items of importance with their deceased, ensuring that they have the tools they need in the afterlife. This belief in an ongoing relationship between the living and the dead is a thread that weaves through many cultures worldwide. As we journey through time and space, we begin to see the threads of connection that bind these burial mounds together. They serve as markers of identity, reflecting the values, beliefs, and aspirations of the cultures that built them. From the intricate carvings of the Scandinavian burial mounds to the elaborate tombs of the ancient Egyptians, each structure tells a story, echoing the universal themes of love, loss, and the yearning for immortality. But what secrets do these mounds still hold? In recent years, advances in technology have allowed archaeologists to explore these ancient sites in new ways. Ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive techniques have unveiled hidden chambers and previously undetected burial sites. As we uncover these secrets, we gain not only insight into ancient practices, but also a deeper understanding of the human experience itself. As we conclude our exploration of burial mounds, we find ourselves reflecting on our own relationship with death and remembrance. These ancient structures remind us that the journey of life is intertwined with the inevitability of death. They challenge us to honor our ancestors and to contemplate the legacy we will leave behind. In a world that often shies away from the subject of mortality, burial mounds invite us to face it head-on, to embrace our shared humanity, and to celebrate the stories that connect us across time and space. So, as we stand on the shoulders of giants, gazing at the mounds that rise from the earth, we are reminded that these structures are not merely relics of the past. They are living testaments to the power of memory, the strength of community, and the enduring quest for understanding in the face of the unknown. The next time you encounter a burial mound, take a moment to pause, Listen to the whispers of the past and consider the stories that lie beneath your feet. The earth is alive with history, and its secrets are waiting to be uncovered. Throughout history, the roles women have played in society have often been overlooked, misrepresented, or confined to narrow stereotypes. Yet, when we peel back the layers of time, we uncover a tapestry rich with stories of power, resilience, and prestige. This is a journey into the lives of remarkable women who have not only shaped their own destinies, but have also altered the very fabric of their societies. Imagine a bustling marketplace in ancient Mesopotamia, where the scent of spices mingles with the sound of bartering voices. Amidst the vibrant colors and lively exchanges, women stand at the forefront, not merely as vendors, but as influential figures in commerce. They navigate the complexities of trade, wielding economic power that often rivals their male counterparts. This scene underscores a fundamental truth. Women have long been integral to the economic pulse of civilization. As we delve deeper into the past, we discover the extraordinary influence of women in ancient Egypt. Here, queens like Hatshepsut and Cleopatra did not merely occupy the throne. They ruled with authority, commanding armies and engaging in political alliances that would shape the fate of nations. Hatshepsut, who reigned as pharaoh, took on male titles and even depicted herself in the masculine style of art, rejecting the notion that femininity was a barrier to power. Her reign was marked by monumental building projects and prosperous trade, showcasing how a woman could ascend to the pinnacle of power while reshaping her society's perceptions. Transitioning to the medieval period, we encounter the formidable figure of Eleanor of Aquitaine, one of the wealthiest and most influential women of her time. She was not just a queen consort, she was a political player, a patron of the arts, and a mother to kings. Eleanor's marriages to Louis VII of France and Henry II of England were strategic alliances that expanded her influence across Europe. Her court became a center of culture and learning, illustrating how women could wield power not just through birthright, but through intellect and ambition. Eleanor's legacy reminds us that power does not always manifest through brute force. Often it is shaped by wisdom, diplomacy, and vision. Fast forward to the Renaissance, a period of cultural rebirth, where women like Isabella d'Este emerged as patrons of the arts and politics. Known as the First Lady of the Renaissance, Isabella used her wealth and influence to support artists such as Titian and Raphael, transforming the artistic landscape of her time. She hosted grand salons that brought together thinkers and creators, positioning herself as a central figure in the cultural dialogue. Isabella's story highlights how women, through their patronage, could elevate the status of the arts and reshape societal norms. As we move into the 19th century, the narrative of women's roles evolves yet again. The suffragette movement emerges, driven by the indomitable spirit of women who dared to challenge the status quo. Figures like Susan B. Anthony and Emmeline Pankhurst become symbols of resistance, advocating for women's rights and suffrage. Their struggle was not merely for the right to vote, but for recognition as equal participants in society. The movement, fraught with challenges and opposition, ultimately laid the groundwork for future generations, illustrating the power of collective action and the resilience of women fighting for their rights. In this ongoing battle for equality, the story of women is intricately tied to the broader social movements of their times. The intersection of race, class, and gender becomes increasingly significant. Women of color, often marginalized in mainstream narratives, emerge as powerful voices. Leaders like Sojourner Truth and Harriet Tubman not only fought for their own rights, but also championed the abolition of slavery. Their courage and tenacity serve as a testament to the multifaceted dimensions of power and prestige, revealing that the struggle for equality is a shared journey. With the dawn of the 20th century, women continue to redefine their roles. The world wars create new opportunities as women step into jobs traditionally held by men. They become factory workers, nurses, and engineers, proving their capabilities beyond the domestic sphere. The iconic image of Rosie the Riveter embodies this shift, symbolizing women's strength and determination. This era marks a pivotal moment in history where the contributions of women are recognized, albeit reluctantly, as essential to the war effort and, by extension, to society as a whole. The post-war years usher in a new wave of feminism, challenging societal norms and advocating for equal rights. Figures like Betty Friedan and Gloria Steinem emerge as leading voices, igniting a conversation about women's roles in both the public and private spheres. The publication of Friedan's The Feminine Mystique sparks a movement that questions the limitations placed on women by traditional gender roles. This era is characterized by a growing recognition of the diversity of women's experiences and the need for intersectionality in the fight for equality. As we reach the present day, the narrative of women's power and prestige continues to evolve. Women occupy leadership positions in politics, business, and the arts, breaking barriers and shattering glass ceilings. The rise of figures like Kamala Harris, the first female vice president of the United States, and Malala Yousafzai, a Nobel laureate advocating for girls' education, illustrates the ongoing journey toward equality. Their achievements inspire new generations to dream bigger and strive for change, reinforcing the idea that women's roles are not confined to historical narratives but are dynamic and ever-evolving. Yet, despite these advancements, challenges remain. The fight for equal pay, reproductive rights, and representation continues. The #MeToo movement, which has shed light on sexual harassment and assault, underscores the necessity of ongoing advocacy for women's rights. It is a stark reminder that while progress has been made, the struggle for equality is far from over. As we reflect on the role of women throughout history, we recognize that their contributions are not just footnotes in the grand narrative of human civilization. They are integral to the story itself. From ancient queens to modern activists, women have wielded power in myriad ways, often against formidable odds. Their legacies, rich with lessons of resilience, ingenuity, and courage, remind us that the fight for equality is a journey worth pursuing. In this exploration of women's roles, we uncover not just stories of power and prestige, but also the unwavering spirit of those who dared to defy expectations. These are tales of triumph and tenacity, of women who have shaped history in ways that resonate to this day. As we continue to write the story of our world, let us remember that the voices of women are not merely to be heard. They are to be celebrated, acknowledged, and woven into the very fabric of our collective narrative. The wind howled across the vast plains of Eastern Europe, carrying with it the whispers of ancient warriors and the echoes of empires on the rise and fall. The year was 1 AD, and a titanic clash of cultures was unfolding on the fringes of the Roman Empire. It was here, in the expansive territories beyond the Danube River, that the Romans would encounter the fierce Sarmatians, a nomadic people whose reputation for horsemanship and combat prowess was unparalleled. Imagine a landscape dotted with sprawling grasslands, where the horizon meets the sky in an endless embrace, and tribes of Sarmatians roamed freely, their horses galloping like the wind. Their way of life was intricately woven into the fabric of the land, a testament to their adaptability and resilience. Unlike the structured society of Rome, the Sarmatians thrived on mobility, living in a world where the next horizon held new possibilities. As the Romans expanded their influence, they found themselves at a crossroads. Should they view the Sarmatians as fierce adversaries or potential allies? This decision would shape not only military strategies, but also the cultural exchanges that would follow. The Sarmatians were not just warriors, they were traders, skilled horsemen, and bearers of a rich heritage that would soon intertwine with that of Rome. Picture the Roman legions, clad in armor and marching with disciplined precision, contrasting sharply with the Sarmatians' fluidity and speed. The Romans, masters of strategy and siege warfare, were not accustomed to the hit-and-run tactics of these nomadic tribes. The Sarmatians, on the other hand, were masters of the open steppe, familiar with the art of warfare that relied on mobility and surprise. Their chariots, pulled by swift horses, would turn the tides of battle, leaving Roman soldiers grappling with a style of combat that was foreign to them. The early encounters between these two cultures were marked by a sense of mutual fascination and trepidation. The Sarmatians, with their flowing garments and intricately designed weapons, struck awe into the hearts of Roman soldiers. Conversely, the Romans, with their advanced military tactics and structured formations, instilled a mix of respect and fear among the Sarmatians. This complex relationship would evolve, oscillating between conflict and cooperation. As the Romans sought to expand their empire, they recognized the strategic importance of the Sarmatian territories. The Danube River served as a vital artery for trade and military movement, and controlling its banks meant access to vast resources and wealth. Yet the Sarmatians were not merely a barrier to be overcome, they were a people with whom the Romans could forge alliances. For the Sarmatians, the prospect of allying with the Romans offered a dual advantage. It provided an opportunity to gain access to Roman goods, luxuries like wine, bronze and textiles, and a means to enhance their own military capabilities. The Sarmatians began to integrate Roman technology into their warfare, adopting new weaponry and tactics while still retaining their unique styles of combat. This blending of cultures marked the beginning of an intricate relationship, one that would lead to both collaboration and conflict. The diplomatic overtures from Rome were not without challenges. The Sarmatians were fiercely independent, and any suggestion of subjugation was met with resistance. Yet, as skirmishes erupted along the borders, both sides recognized the potential benefits of collaboration. Roman envoys would travel into Sarmatian territory seeking to establish treaties and trade agreements, while Sarmatian leaders, intrigued by the power of Rome, would send delegations to the heart of the empire. One notable figure in this historical tapestry was the Sarmatian king, who, with his retinue of warriors, ventured into Roman territories. His visits were laden with ceremony, showcasing the intricate customs of his people. The Romans, accustomed to their own protocols, found themselves captivated by the Sarmatian way of life. The king's ability to command respect and loyalty among his warriors demonstrated the deeply rooted traditions of tribal leadership that contrasted with the Roman Senate's bureaucracy. As the years passed, alliances began to solidify, and the Sarmatians found themselves fighting alongside the Romans in various campaigns. Together they faced common enemies, such as the Germanic tribes that threatened the stability of the empire. This cooperation was not just a military strategy, it was a cultural exchange that enriched both societies. The Sarmatians introduced the Romans to new cavalry tactics, while the Romans imparted their knowledge of fortifications and siege warfare. However, the harmony was not to last. As Rome's ambitions grew, so too did the complexities of its relationships with the Sarmatians. Internal strife in Rome led to shifting policies and a growing perception of the Sarmatians as mere pawns in a larger geopolitical game. The once strong alliances began to fray as the Romans sought to exert more control over their allies, leading to tensions that would eventually result in betrayal and conflict. The Sarmatians, sensing the undercurrents of Roman distrust, began to withdraw their support. The balance of power shifted, and what was once a partnership became fraught with suspicion. The Romans, eager to expand their territories, launched military campaigns aimed at subduing the Sarmatians once and for all. The battlefields of this tumultuous era became soaked with the blood of both Romans and Sarmatians, as the clash of civilizations reached its zenith. The final encounters between these two great cultures would leave scars that echoed through history. The Sarmatians, though fierce and proud, faced insurmountable odds against the might of Rome. As legions marched into their lands, the once unstoppable nomadic warriors found themselves backed into a corner. Yet, their legacy endured, woven into the very fabric of Roman history. As the dust settled on the battlefields of the Sarmatian plains, the Romans would go on to incorporate elements of Sarmatian culture into their own. The art of horsemanship, the fierce spirit of independence, and the intricate rituals of the Sarmatians would find their way into Roman society, leaving an indelible mark on the empire. In the end, the story of Rome and the Sarmatians is not merely one of conquest and defeat. It is a reminder of the fluidity of alliances and the enduring spirit of cultures. It teaches us that even in the throes of war, there is room for understanding, exchange, and ultimately a shared legacy that transcends borders. As we reflect on this rich tapestry of history, we are left with a profound question. What does it mean to be an ally? And how do we navigate the complexities of friendship and enmity in our own lives? The saga of Rome and the Sarmatians serves as a timeless reminder of the interplay between cultures, the enduring quest for power, and the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity. Imagine standing upon the rugged terrain of northern England, where the winds whisper tales of ancient warriors and the ghosts of history linger in the air. Among these echoes, one group of soldiers stands out: the Sarmatians. These fierce cavalrymen, hailing from the vast steppes of Eastern Europe, found themselves far from home, stationed at the formidable Hadrian's Wall. Their story intertwines with the Roman Empire's ambition and the complex tapestry of cultures that thrived in Britain during the late antiquity. The Sarmatians were not just mercenaries, they were a proud people with a rich heritage. Originating from the region now known as modern-day Ukraine, their society was built on the foundations of nomadic tradition, where horsemanship was not merely a skill but a way of life. Their armor gleamed under the sun, and their long, curved swords, known as sabers, cut through the air with deadly precision. These warriors were skilled in the art of cavalry tactics, a vital asset for any army that sought to conquer or defend territory. As the Roman Empire expanded its reach, it sought to incorporate various tribes and cultures into its military framework. The Sarmatians were among those who answered the call, drawn by the promise of wealth and the chance to leave their mark on history. By the time they arrived in Britain, the Romans had already established a formidable presence, erecting Hadrian's Wall to fortify their northern frontier against the fierce tribes of Caledonia. This massive stone barrier, stretching across the landscape, was not just a physical divide. It represented the Roman Empire's determination to secure its boundaries. Imagine the day when the Sarmatians first set foot on British soil. The salty air of the North Sea, the sound of waves crashing against the rocky shore, and the distant outline of Hadrian's Wall towering in the distance greeted them. It was a land of contrasts, where the lush green hills met the rugged coastline, and where the echoes of tribal life clashed with the disciplined order of Roman military life. The Sarmatians, accustomed to the open plains of their homeland, now faced the challenge of adapting to a new environment and a new way of life. The Sarmatians were not merely guests in this foreign land, they became integral to the Roman military structure. Assigned to cavalry units, they brought their unique skills to the battlefield, where their speed and agility complemented the heavy infantry tactics favored by the Romans. Their presence at Hadrian's Wall was not just strategic, it was symbolic. Here they stood as a testament to Rome's ability to unite diverse cultures under its banner, creating a melting pot of military prowess. Yet life at Hadrian's Wall was not without its challenges. The Sarmatians had to contend with the harsh realities of military life, including rigorous training and the constant threat of conflict. The Roman legions stationed there were under constant vigilance, tasked with defending against raids from the tribes beyond the wall. The Sarmatians, with their experience in skirmishes and cavalry charges, became essential in scouting missions and rapid response teams. Their horses, bred for speed and endurance, were the envy of many, allowing them to traverse the rugged terrain with ease. As we delve deeper into the lives of these warriors, we uncover a fascinating interplay between cultures. The Sarmatians brought their customs, traditions, and even their deities to Britain. They participated in the Roman religious practices while still holding on to their ancestral beliefs. This cultural exchange enriched the tapestry of life at the Wall, where Roman and Sarmatian traditions began to interweave. Festivals celebrating both Roman gods and Sarmatian deities flourished, showcasing a unique blend of cultures. In the midst of this cultural fusion, personal stories emerge. Picture a young Sarmatian warrior named Arash, who left his homeland in search of glory. With each day spent at Hadrian's Wall, he forged bonds with his Roman counterparts, learning their language and customs while sharing tales of his own people. Arash's journey is emblematic of the many soldiers who found themselves caught between two worlds. They were warriors of the empire, yet they carried the weight of their heritage with them, navigating the complexities of identity and loyalty. The Sarmatians also faced adversities that tested their resolve. As Rome's grip on its territories began to weaken, the threats from the tribes beyond the wall intensified. The once secure borders of the empire became increasingly perilous, and the Sarmatians found themselves in the thick of conflict. Their skills as cavalrymen were put to the test in fierce battles against the Picts and other tribes, where the stakes were nothing less than survival. The battles fought at Hadrian's Wall were not just military confrontations, they were clashes of cultures and ideologies. The Sarmatians, with their distinct fighting style, challenged the conventional Roman tactics. Their mobility allowed them to strike swiftly and retreat before the enemy could mount a counterattack. This unpredictability made them formidable adversaries, earning respect even from those who would have called them foes. As we explore these historical skirmishes, we must also acknowledge the human element, the lives lost, the families torn apart, and the enduring legacies left behind. For every victory, there were countless stories of bravery and sacrifice. The Sarmatians, who came to Britain seeking fortune and glory, often found themselves facing the harsh realities of war. Each battle etched their names into the annals of history, transforming them from mere soldiers into legends. With time, the Roman Empire's influence waned, and the once mighty Hadrian's Wall began to crumble under the weight of neglect and the shifting tides of power. The Sarmatians, like many others, faced an uncertain fate. Some chose to stay, integrating into local communities and blending their heritage with that of the Britons. Others returned to their homeland, carrying tales of their adventures and the friendships forged across the divide. As we reflect on the legacy of the Sarmatians at Hadrian's Wall, we begin to understand that their story is not just one of conflict, but of resilience and adaptability. They remind us that history is not merely a series of events, but a complex interplay of human experiences. Their presence at the wall represented more than just military strength. It was a testament to the power of cultural exchange and the enduring spirit of those who dare to embrace the unknown. In the end, the Sarmatians carved their mark upon the landscape of Britain, leaving behind whispers of their existence in the stones of Hadrian's Wall. They remind us that even in the face of uncertainty, courage and camaraderie can forge bonds that transcend borders, creating a legacy that echoes through time. Today, as we walk along the remnants of that ancient wall, we can still feel the pulse of history, a history enriched by the diverse cultures that shaped it, including the indomitable Sarmatians, soldiers of a bygone era who once stood as guardians of the Roman Empire in this distant land. In the vast expanse of arid plains and rugged mountains, where the horizon blurs with the sky, a unique social structure thrives, shaped by the winds of tradition and survival. Here, clans and tribes form the backbone of nomadic life, weaving intricate patterns of kinship and community that have endured through centuries. Today, we embark on a journey to explore how these social structures define the lives of nomads, revealing the rich tapestry of relationships, customs, and resilience that characterize their existence. Imagine waking up each morning to the crisp air of a new landscape. Your home, a tent crafted from animal hides, your neighbor's family in a way that transcends blood. For nomads, the clan is not merely a group, but a sanctuary, a system of support that ensures survival in some of the harshest environments on Earth. Clans serve as the primary social unit, where ties of loyalty and obligation bind members together, creating a formidable network of mutual aid. At the heart of each clan lies a shared lineage, often traced back through generations. This lineage is not just a matter of ancestry. It is a living history, rich with stories of triumphs and trials. For nomads, recalling these narratives is essential, as they reinforce identity and belonging. Elders, revered for their wisdom, often take on the role of storytellers, sharing tales that instill values and impart lessons, connecting the younger generation to their roots. The structure of a clan is typically patriarchal, with family groups often organized around a male leader, known as the chief or shaman. However, the role of women in these societies is equally pivotal. They are the backbone of the family unit, responsible for managing daily life, tending to livestock, and weaving the intricate textiles that are not only practical, but also imbued with cultural significance. Their contributions, while sometimes overlooked, are vital to the clan's survival and well-being. As we delve deeper into this intricate social fabric, we uncover the significance of kinship ties. In nomadic cultures, relations extend beyond the immediate family. Cousins, uncles, and aunts form a web of interconnectedness, each person playing a role in the greater community. These bonds are maintained through rituals, gatherings, and communal activities that reinforce solidarity. Whether it is a shared meal under the stars or a collective migration to greener pastures, these moments create a sense of unity that is essential for thriving in a nomadic lifestyle. One of the most remarkable aspects of nomadic life is the fluidity of their social structure. Unlike sedentary societies, where hierarchies may become rigid and stratified, nomadic clans adapt to the ever-changing landscape around them. Decisions are often made collectively, with discussions held around campfires where every voice matters. This egalitarian approach fosters a sense of ownership among members, empowering them to contribute to the clan's direction and survival strategies. Yet, this harmonious existence is not without challenges. The encroachment of modern civilization threatens the nomadic way of life, as land is increasingly appropriated for agriculture, urbanization, and industrial development. In response, many clans are finding ways to blend tradition with modernity, navigating the complexities of a world that demands adaptation. Their resilience shines through as they preserve their cultural heritage while embracing new opportunities for trade, education, and connection. The concept of tribal identity plays a significant role in shaping the social structure of nomads. Tribes often encompass multiple clans, creating broader networks that facilitate trade, alliances, and mutual defense. These tribal affiliations are not merely practical, but also deeply rooted in shared history and culture. Festivals and ceremonies serve as vital expressions of this identity, bringing together clans and tribes to celebrate their heritage, share stories, and reinforce their bonds. As we traverse the landscapes inhabited by nomadic tribes, we encounter the rich diversity of their customs and practices. Each tribe boasts its own unique traditions, from elaborate rituals marking the changing seasons to the vibrant art forms that depict their connection to the land and animals. These expressions of identity serve not only as a means of cultural preservation, but also as a source of pride and resilience in the face of adversity. In the realm of conflict, the clan and tribal structures offer a framework for resolution. Disputes may arise over resources, territory, or even personal grievances, but the collective nature of nomadic societies often leads to peaceful resolutions. Elders play a crucial role in mediating conflicts, drawing upon their experience and wisdom to guide discussions toward reconciliation. This emphasis on harmony and community over individual grievances is a testament to the values embedded in their social fabric. As we reflect on the social structure of nomads, it becomes clear that their way of life is a delicate balance between tradition and adaptation. The clans and tribes are not static entities. They evolve in response to external pressures while remaining anchored in their cultural heritage. The stories of resilience, community, and identity that emerge from these societies are not just tales of survival. They are a testament to the enduring human spirit. As we draw our exploration of clans and tribes to a close, let us remember that the nomadic way of life is a living testament to humanity's diversity. The intricate social structures that define these communities provide not only a means of survival in harsh environments, but also a rich tapestry of relationships that enrich the human experience. In a world that often seeks to categorize and simplify, the complexity of nomadic societies reminds us of the beauty found in diversity, the strength in community, and the deep connections that bind us all. In conclusion, as we venture back from the vast plains and rugged mountains where these clans and tribes thrive, let us carry forward the lessons learned from their remarkable social structures. They teach us about the importance of kinship, the power of community, and the resilience that comes from embracing our roots while navigating a changing world. The nomads remind us that we are all part of a larger tapestry, interwoven through shared stories, struggles, and triumphs. As we continue our journey through this documentary series, may we remain inspired by the enduring spirit of those who roam the earth, guided by the winds of tradition and the bonds of family. Picture the vast stretches of the Eurasian Steppe, where the wind whispers ancient secrets and the horizon dances with the colors of dusk. Here, among the rolling grasslands and rugged terrain, a rich tapestry of beliefs and rituals has flourished, weaving together the lives of nomadic tribes who have roamed this land for centuries. This is a world steeped in spirituality, where the divine is not confined to temples or churches, but interwoven into the very fabric of daily existence. Today, we traverse the expansive plains to uncover the profound relationship between the people of the steppe and their gods, a connection that has shaped their culture, identity, and way of life. As we delve into the beliefs of these nomadic tribes, we find that their spirituality is much like the landscape itself, vast, unpredictable, and stunningly beautiful. The steppe is not merely a backdrop, it is a living entity, a deity in its own right. For the nomads, every mountain, river, and grove of trees is imbued with spiritual significance. They believe that the spirits of their ancestors linger in the winds, guiding and protecting them as they navigate the challenges of life on the move. This reverence for the land reflects a deep-seated understanding of their environment, a harmony that has been passed down through generations. Among the most prominent deities in the pantheon of steppe religions is Tengri, the sky god, often referred to as the Great Blue Sky. For centuries, Tengri has been regarded as the supreme deity by many Turkic and Mongolic tribes. He embodies the sky itself, representing the infinite possibilities of life and the boundless nature of the universe. Tengri is not merely a distant god, he is a nurturing force, a protector who watches over the herds and ensures the fertility of the land. The nomads often look up to the heavens, seeking signs and omens in the shifting clouds, believing that the will of Tengri manifests in the natural world around them. Rituals dedicated to Tengri are woven into the very fabric of nomadic life. The annual spring festival, known as Nowruz, is a vibrant celebration of renewal and rebirth. As the earth awakens from its winter slumber, families gather to honor the spirits of the ancestors and seek blessings for the coming year. The festivities often include traditional music, dance, and feasting, creating a sense of community and belonging among the nomads. But at the heart of Nowruz lies a profound spiritual significance. It is a moment to reconnect with Tengri and express gratitude for the gifts of life. Yet, the steppe is not solely defined by Tengri. The nomads also pay homage to a multitude of spirits that inhabit their world. From the guardian spirits of the mountains to the water spirits of the rivers, each entity holds a unique place in the spiritual landscape. The shaman, revered as a mediator between the human realm and the spirit world, plays a crucial role in these interactions. With their deep knowledge of rituals and the natural world, shamans guide their communities through the complexities of existence, healing the sick and seeking guidance from the spirits. Imagine a gathering around a flickering fire, the air thick with anticipation as the shaman enters a trance. Drumming echoes in the night, and the shaman's voice rises above the crackling flames, invoking the spirits of the ancestors. In this sacred space, boundaries blur, and the community connects with the timeless wisdom of those who came before. It is a moment of unity, where past and present intertwine, reminding the nomads of their place in the grand tapestry of life. As we explore further, we encounter the concept of Erlik, the god of the underworld, who embodies the duality of existence. Erlik is often viewed as a necessary counterpart to Tengri, representing death, darkness, and the unknown. The nomads do not fear Erlik. Instead, they acknowledge his role in the cycle of life and death. Rituals honoring Erlik are performed to ensure the safe passage of souls into the afterlife. These ceremonies are marked by deep respect and reverence, recognizing that death is not an end but a transformation. It is fascinating to observe how these beliefs manifest in everyday life. The nomads' relationship with their animals, particularly horses, is a testament to their spiritual worldview. Horses are not just beasts of burden. They are considered sacred companions that carry the spirits of the ancestors. In many rituals, horses are adorned with special blankets and offerings, and their well-being is paramount. The bond between the nomads and their horses reflects a profound understanding of reciprocity, where both humans and animals play vital roles in each other's existence. In the midst of these spiritual traditions, we also discover the influence of Buddhism and shamanism, which have blended with indigenous beliefs over time. The arrival of Buddhism in the region brought new dimensions to the nomadic spiritual landscape. Temples and monasteries began to dot the steppe, serving as centers of learning and community. However, rather than displacing the existing beliefs, Buddhism often coexisted with the ancient practices, creating a rich tapestry of faith that celebrates both the material and spiritual worlds. The integration of Buddhism is especially evident in the festivals that honor both Tengri and the Buddha. These celebrations often feature vibrant processions, where colorful banners flutter in the wind, and the sounds of prayers resonate across the steppe. The rituals invite the community to reflect on the impermanence of life and the importance of living in harmony with the world around them. It is a beautiful fusion of beliefs, reminding us that spirituality can be both diverse and unifying. As dusk falls over the steppe, the sky transforms into a brilliant canvas of colors, mirroring the vibrant beliefs of the nomadic tribes. The stars emerge, twinkling like the eyes of the ancestors watching over their descendants. For the nomads, the night sky is not just a backdrop, it is a reminder of their connection to the cosmos, a vast expanse filled with the spirits of those who have walked before them. In this ethereal moment, we are reminded that every ritual, every prayer, and every festival is a thread in the intricate fabric of life, binding together the past, present, and future. The gods of the steppe are not distant figures. They are ever present, alive in the stories, songs, and rituals of the nomads. Their spirituality is a celebration of life in all its forms, a recognition of the interconnectedness of all beings. As we conclude our journey through this enchanting world, we carry with us the wisdom of the steppe, the understanding that the divine is not separate from the mundane, but is intricately woven into the very essence of our existence. In the heart of the steppe, we find a profound truth, that in honoring the gods of the land, we honor ourselves and the world we inhabit. Imagine a world where the mere glint of a piece of jewelry could summon the power of ancient myths, where the symbols worn around the neck or on the wrist tell stories as old as time itself. The art of ornamentation among the horsemen, those nomadic tribes riding across vast steppes and deserts, has left an indelible mark on culture and history. Each piece crafted with care, every symbol etched into metal or bone, is a bridge to the past, a whisper of the tales that shaped their world. As we delve into the art of the horseman, we find ourselves immersed in a universe rich with meaning, where jewelry serves more than an aesthetic purpose. It becomes a vessel for identity, a display of power, and a form of communication that transcends the spoken word. These magnificent artifacts, forged in the fires of necessity and artistry, reveal the intricate relationship between the horsemen and their environment, their beliefs and their aspirations. In the vast expanses of the Eurasian steppes, the horsemen have long been revered for their equestrian skills and their deep connection to the land. But alongside their prowess in battle and trade, they nurtured a vibrant culture that flourished through the mastery of metalwork, bead-making, and the artful crafting of symbols. This episode invites you to journey with us as we explore how these elements intertwine to create a narrative tapestry that continues to resonate with us today. The jewelry of the horseman is often characterized by its boldness and complexity. From intricate silverwork to vibrant beads made from glass and semi-precious stones, every piece tells a story of the wearer. Take, for instance, the striking torque, a neck ring that has been worn by nomadic tribes for centuries. This piece, often made of twisted metal, is not merely an accessory. It signifies strength, status, and a deep connection to ancestry. The torque is emblematic of the horseman's identity, a mark of pride that they carried into battle and beyond. But the significance of jewelry among the horsemen extends far beyond aesthetics. Each symbol, each design is imbued with meaning, often reflective of their beliefs and the natural world around them. The sun, a source of life and energy, frequently appears in their designs. It symbolizes not only the physical warmth that sustains them, but also the spiritual light that guides their journey through life. When adorned with such symbols, the horsemen carry their beliefs into the very fabric of their being, each ornament acting as a talisman against misfortune. As we examine these symbols, we uncover a fascinating interplay between mythology and artistry. The horsemen believed deeply in the spirits of their ancestors and the forces of nature that governed their existence. Animals, too, feature prominently in their mythology, with horses, eagles, and wolves often represented in their jewelry. The horse, sacred to these nomadic tribes, is not merely a mode of transportation. It is a powerful symbol of freedom and the bond between humans and nature. Jewelry adorned with horse motifs serves to honor this majestic creature and to invoke its strength and grace. Consider the craftsmanship involved in creating these artistic expressions. The horsemen, often skilled blacksmiths and artisans, would spend countless hours perfecting their techniques. They utilized available resources, turning ordinary materials into extraordinary works of art. Silver, a symbol of purity and the moon, was often used due to its malleability and beauty. The process of shaping metal, of bending it to one's will, mirrors the very relationship they have with their environment, a dance between man and nature where both seek harmony. The importance of community among the horsemen cannot be overstated. Jewelry often served as a means of connecting individuals within the tribe, reinforcing bonds and shared identities. The act of gift-giving, especially during significant life events such as marriages or births, was often accompanied by the exchange of jewelry. A necklace passed down through generations carries not only the weight of its materials, but also the stories of love, loss, and legacy. Each piece becomes a thread in the fabric of their shared history, a reminder of where they come from and the journeys they have undertaken together. As we traverse through the ages, the art of the horsemen evolves, yet remains firmly rooted in tradition. The symbols they engrave or encrust in their jewelry continue to resonate with modern interpretations, reflecting an enduring legacy. Contemporary artisans, inspired by the rich history of their ancestors, breathe new life into these ancient designs, blending traditional craftsmanship with modern sensibilities. Jewelry that once served as a protective charm now finds its place in the fashion world, a testament to the timelessness of these symbols and the stories they convey. The myths that surround these artifacts are equally captivating. Legends of gods, legendary heroes, and mythical creatures swirl around the horseman's art, giving context to the insignias they chose to wear. Each ornament becomes a chapter in a larger tale, weaving together the past and present. The story of the wolf, revered for its cunning and strength, could be found in a pendant that speaks to the wearer's connection to bravery and intuition. Likewise, the eagle, soaring high above, represents vision and freedom, inspiring those who bear its likeness. Exploring the art of jewelry among the horsemen invites us to reflect on our own symbols and what they represent. In a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected, the stories behind these ornaments remind us of our shared humanity and the universal desire to find meaning in our lives. The horsemen, through their artistry, teach us that we are all connected by the narratives we create and the symbols we choose to embody. As this chapter closes, we are left with a profound appreciation for the artistry of the horsemen. Their jewelry, rich in symbolism and steeped in mythology, is not merely decoration. It is a testament to their identity, their beliefs, and their history. The glint of silver and the vibrant hues of beads echo the voices of those who came before, urging us to remember the power of stories that transcend time and space. As we continue our journey through the annals of history and culture, let us carry forward the lessons learned from the horsemen. Their art, a fusion of craftsmanship and meaning, serves as a reminder that even in our modern lives, we too can find ways to express our identities and connect with the histories that shape us. So, let us honor the legacy of the horsemen, cherishing the artistry that continues to inspire and unite us all. Imagine a world where the winds whisper tales of adventure, where the vast grasslands stretch endlessly beneath an azure sky, and where the hum of commerce fills the air. This is the steppe, a realm that has cradled the dreams and aspirations of countless civilizations over millennia. In this episode, we journey through time to explore the intricate tapestry of trade that flourished on the steppe, connecting the east and west from the legendary Silk Road to the shores of the Black Sea. As we delve into this narrative, we encounter the Silk Road, an ancient network of trade routes that turned the arid landscapes of Central Asia into a bustling artery of commerce. Imagine caravans laden with silks, spices, and precious metals, traversing the rugged terrain, guided by the stars and the wisdom of seasoned merchants. The Silk Road wasn't just a path for goods, it was a conduit for ideas, cultures, and innovations. It linked the opulent cities of the East, such as Samarkand and Bukhara, with the thriving markets of Europe, creating a vibrant exchange that would shape the course of history. In the early days, the steppes were inhabited by nomadic tribes, expert horsemen who roamed freely across the grasslands. These tribes, such as the Scythians and later the Mongols, were not merely pastoralists. They were the original traders of the steppe, mastering the art of barter long before the grand caravans took shape. With their swift steeds, they facilitated trade between settled communities, transporting goods and resources that were essential for survival. The steppes became a melting pot of cultures, where diverse peoples met, mingled, and traded. But what drove these nomadic traders? The answer lies in the harsh yet beautiful landscape of the steppe itself. The need for sustenance and resources spurred innovation and adaptability among these peoples. They exchanged animal products, such as hides and wool, for grains and other goods from farming communities. This interdependence fostered a sense of camaraderie, as tribes learned to navigate their differences and find common ground through trade. As we move forward in time, the arrival of the Silk Road brought new opportunities and challenges to the nomadic tribes of the steppe. The ancient trade routes ushered in a golden age of commerce, transforming the landscape into a vibrant marketplace. Towns and cities sprang up along the routes, emerging as cultural crossroads where merchants from various backgrounds gathered. The bustling markets were alive with the sights and sounds of haggling, bartering, and the exchange of stories. One of the most remarkable aspects of this trade was the role of the horse. The steppes were the birthplace of the horse culture, and these majestic creatures became integral to the success of trade. The nomads bred exceptional horses, prized for their strength and endurance, which became the backbone of the Silk Road caravans. Picture the caravans, stretching for miles as they moved in unison, a symphony of hooves against the earth. These horses not only facilitated trade, but also became symbols of power and prestige. As our journey continues, we find ourselves at the crossroads of empires. The Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan, emerged as a formidable force, uniting the nomadic tribes and expanding trade networks across vast territories. The Mongols understood the value of commerce and actively promoted trade along the Silk Road. They established a system of relay stations known as yam, which provided rest and resources for merchants traveling the arduous routes. This innovation not only ensured the safety of traders, but also accelerated the flow of goods and ideas. The Mongols were not merely conquerors, they were adept at fostering cultural exchange. Art, science and technology flourished during this period as scholars and artisans traveled across the steppe, sharing knowledge and skills. The Silk Road became a conduit for not only material goods, but also intellectual treasures. The invention of paper, the compass and the printing press. These innovations would eventually change the course of human history, all thanks to the vibrant interplay of cultures along the steppe. As we approach the shores of the Black Sea, the importance of this region becomes increasingly evident. The Black Sea served as a vital link between the East and West, facilitating maritime trade that complemented the overland routes of the Silk Road. The cities that dotted its coastline, such as Constantinople and Trebizond, thrived as bustling ports, where goods from Asia mingled with those from Europe. The exchange of goods was accompanied by the exchange of ideas, religions and traditions, weaving a rich cultural tapestry that defined the region. Yet, the journey was not without turmoil. The rise and fall of empires, shifting trade routes, and the emergence of new powers reshaped the landscape of trade on the steppe. The decline of the Mongol Empire in the 14th century marked a turning point, as the once thriving Silk Road faced challenges from emerging maritime routes. The discovery of new sea passages to Asia diminished the reliance on overland trade, leading to a gradual transformation of the economic landscape. However, the spirit of trade endured. The steppe, with its vastness and potential, continued to attract explorers, traders, and adventurers. The legacy of the Silk Road lived on, inspiring new generations to seek fortune and knowledge. The tales of brave merchants, intrepid travelers, and the exchange of cultures echo through the ages, reminding us of the enduring human spirit that yearns for connection. As we reflect on this journey through the steppe, we recognize the significance of trade in shaping human history. It is a testament to our innate desire to explore, to connect, and to thrive. The steppe, with its breathtaking landscapes and rich cultural heritage, remains a symbol of resilience and adaptability. It is a reminder that even in a world of change, the ties that bind us through trade and exchange will always endure. So the next time you look upon a vast expanse of grassland or hear the stories of traders who dared to venture into the unknown, remember the vibrant history of the steppe. It is a story of adventure, of cultures intertwining, and of the relentless pursuit of knowledge and connection that has shaped our world. The steppe is not just a geographical region, it is a living narrative that continues to unfold, inviting us all to partake in its timeless journey. What if I told you that a forgotten people, once fierce warriors and skilled horsemen, roamed the steppes of Eurasia, leaving a legacy that would influence cultures and civilizations for centuries to come? The Alans, descendants of the Sarmatians, carved their mark into history like a skilled craftsman chiseling stone. Their story is one of resilience, adaptation, and the indomitable spirit of a people who navigated the tides of change through the ages. The Alans emerged from the intricate tapestry of ancient tribes that populated the vast expanses of the Eurasian steppe. They were not just nomadic horsemen, but a complex society with rich cultural traditions and formidable military prowess. Their origins trace back to the Sarmatians, a group renowned for their cavalry skills and warrior culture who inhabited the areas north of the Black Sea. The Sarmatians, in turn, were linked to the Scythians, another formidable group that once ruled the steppes, creating a lineage steeped in valor and conquests. As the sun rises on the steppes, imagine the sounds of hooves pounding against the earth, the vibrant colors of their tents dotting the horizon, and the smell of smoke from campfires mingling with the crisp morning air. The Alans rode with purpose, their strong horses a testament to their connection with the land. They were not merely warriors, they were also traders, diplomats, and artisans, and the Alans created a rich cultural identity that blended the influences of the peoples they encountered, from the Romans to the Persians. The Alans were not confined to one geographical location. Their movements were dictated by the seasonal rhythms of the land. They migrated across vast distances, following the herds of animals they depended upon for sustenance. This nomadic lifestyle allowed them to adapt and thrive in diverse environments, showcasing their resilience and ingenuity. The Alans mastered the art of survival, learning to read the land and weather patterns like a seasoned sailor navigates the open seas. As the centuries unfolded, the Alans found themselves at the crossroads of empires. They engaged in trade with the Romans, exchanging goods and cultural practices. Their interactions were not limited to commerce. The Alans served as mercenaries and allies in battles, earning a reputation as formidable warriors. In a world where power was often measured by military strength, the Alans proved to be valuable assets to those who sought their loyalty. However, like many great civilizations, the Alans faced their share of adversities. The rise of new powers, such as the Huns, threatened their existence and way of life. The Huns, with their ferocious cavalry and relentless expansion, swept through the steppes, forcing the Alans to adapt once again. In a desperate bid for survival, they were compelled to forge alliances, even with former enemies. This adaptability is a hallmark of their legacy, demonstrating their ability to navigate the complexities of a changing world. As the Alans migrated westward, they began to settle in regions that would later become part of modern-day Europe. Their presence was felt across the continent, particularly in the regions that would eventually be known as France and Spain. The Alans contributed to the cultural melting pot of these areas, leaving behind traces of their identity in the languages, traditions, and customs that emerged from this fusion. Imagine the bustling markets of a medieval town, where merchants from different corners of the world converge, exchanging not just goods, but stories and ideas. The Alans were among these merchants, sharing tales of their legendary ancestors and the vast steppes they once roamed. They brought with them a rich oral tradition, filled with epic stories of heroism and adventure that captivated the imaginations of those they encountered. But the Alans were not merely passive participants in this cultural exchange. They asserted their influence in various ways, including military contributions to the kingdoms they inhabited. Their warriors became essential components of local armies, often leading charges and executing strategies that showcased their exceptional horsemanship and combat skills. The legacy of the Alans was not just in their stories, but in the very fabric of the societies that absorbed them. Yet the passage of time is relentless. As the Middle Ages progressed, the distinct identity of the Alans began to blur. Assimilation into the cultures of the regions they settled in took its toll on their once proud lineage. The language, traditions, and customs that defined them slowly faded into the background, overshadowed by the dominant cultures of Europe. Despite this gradual erasure, glimpses of the Alans' legacy endure. Words and phrases from their language can still be found in the dialects of the regions they once inhabited. The essence of their warrior spirit lives on in the folklore and legends that continue to be told, echoing the bravery and resilience of a people who once roamed the vast steppes. The Alans remind us of the intricate connections that weave through history, the ways in which cultures influence one another, and the enduring power of storytelling. Their journey teaches us that even in the face of adversity, the human spirit can adapt, thrive, and leave an indelible mark on the world. The Alans may have faded from the pages of history, but their legacy, like the wind on the steppes they once called home, continues to whisper through the ages. As we reflect on the Alans and their journey, let us celebrate the diverse tapestry of human experience. Each thread, each story, contributes to a greater understanding of who we are and where we come from. The Alans, with their rich heritage and enduring spirit, remind us that history is not just a series of events, but a living narrative that shapes our present and future. In honoring their legacy, we honor the countless voices that have come before us, weaving a story that connects us all across time and space. Imagine the sound of hooves thundering across the battlefield, the dust rising in clouds as soldiers clash in a desperate fight for survival. This is the world of ancient Rome, a civilization that shaped much of the modern world. But behind the grandeur of the Roman legions lay a critical element that often goes unnoticed: the mercenaries and cavalry that played an indispensable role in Rome's military successes. Today, we delve into the Roman alliance, mercenaries and cavalry, exploring how these forces contributed to the empire's might and influence. As Rome expanded its borders, it became increasingly reliant on a diverse array of warriors. The very concept of a Roman army was more fluid than many realize. While the legions were iconic, they were not the whole story. The Roman military machine was a complex tapestry woven from the threads of various cultures and fighting styles, including those of mercenaries from distant lands. These hired swords were not merely supplementary forces, they were integral to Rome's strategy and success in numerous campaigns. The practice of employing mercenaries dates back to the earliest days of warfare. As cities and states vied for dominance, the need for specialized combatants became apparent. In Rome, this need grew as the Republic expanded its territory. From the fierce Gallic tribes of the north to the skilled horsemen of the Parthian Empire, Rome's enemies often boasted warriors who had honed their craft over generations. Rather than solely relying on their citizen soldiers, Roman commanders recognized the value of enlisting these seasoned fighters to bolster their ranks. One might wonder, what motivated these mercenaries to join a foreign army? The answer lies in the promise of wealth, glory, and adventure. Many mercenaries came from regions plagued by instability or economic hardship, seeking opportunities that their homelands could not provide. For them, the allure of serving under the Roman banner, with its reputation for power and riches, was irresistible. They fought not for loyalty to Rome, but for the promise of gold, land, and a chance to carve their names into history. Among the most notable groups of mercenaries were the Numidians, renowned for their exceptional cavalry skills. Hailing from North Africa, these horsemen mastered the art of mobility and speed, employing tactics that often bewildered their enemies. Their ability to strike quickly and retreat just as swiftly made them invaluable assets to Roman generals. During the days of the Punic Wars, it was the Numidian cavalry that often turned the tide of battle, executing flanking maneuvers that left the Roman legions in awe. Yet, the inclusion of mercenaries was not without its challenges. While they brought unique skills to the battlefield, their loyalty was often questionable. Many mercenaries were driven by self-interest, and when the tides of war turned, they could quickly shift allegiances. This unpredictability posed a significant risk for Roman commanders, who had to weigh the benefits of these forces against the potential for betrayal. History is filled with instances where mercenaries, once fierce allies, became formidable foes. Rome's military innovations were not limited to the recruitment of mercenaries. The cavalry, or equites, played a crucial role in the Roman army's structure and operations. Initially, the equites were recruited from the wealthy classes, serving as light cavalry. They were primarily used for reconnaissance and skirmishing, providing vital intelligence on enemy movements. However, as warfare evolved, so did the role of the cavalry within the Roman military framework. In the early Republic, cavalry units were small and primarily tasked with supporting infantry. As Rome engaged in more complex campaigns, the need for a larger and more effective cavalry force became apparent. The Roman cavalry began to evolve, incorporating heavier armored units that could stand toe-to-toe with the best of their adversaries. This transformation allowed them to engage in direct combat, rather than merely serving as scouts or harriers. A pivotal moment in the evolution of cavalry tactics came during the wars against the Parthians. The Parthians, renowned for their cataphracts, heavily armored cavalry, posed a significant challenge to Roman legions. In response, Roman generals began to adopt and adapt these tactics. The integration of heavier cavalry units into the Roman military apparatus marked a turning point, allowing them to face their foes head-on. One of the most famous cavalry officers in Roman history was the general Publius Cornelius Scipio Africanus. His strategic genius was evident during the Second Punic War when he faced the legendary Carthaginian general Hannibal. Scipio recognized the importance of cavalry in his campaigns and sought to build an effective force that could counter Hannibal's elite horsemen. In a series of decisive battles, Scipio's cavalry played a crucial role, providing the mobility and support needed to secure victory. As we delve deeper into the Roman alliance, it becomes clear that the relationship between mercenaries and the cavalry was not one of mere coexistence. They were intertwined, working in tandem to create a more formidable military force. The mercenaries brought unique skills and local knowledge that enhanced the effectiveness of Roman cavalry units. In many campaigns, we see how these two groups complemented each other, leading to victories that would shape the course of history. Take the Battle of Zama, for instance, where Scipio Africanus faced off against Hannibal in 202 BCE. The battlefield was a mix of Roman legions, allied Numidian cavalry, and mercenaries from various tribes. Here, the cooperation between the Roman infantry and the Numidian horsemen was instrumental in outmaneuvering and ultimately defeating Hannibal's forces. The victory at Zama underscored the significance of collaboration between different military factions, illustrating how mercenaries and cavalry could combine their strengths for a common purpose. The Roman strategy of forming alliances with mercenaries was not confined to the battlefield. It extended into diplomacy and politics, where Rome often sought to maintain peace and stability through agreements with local tribes. By incorporating local warriors into their military ranks, Romans could gain the loyalty of entire communities, thus establishing a level of control without the need for constant military presence. This approach allowed Rome to expand its influence while minimizing conflict, creating a network of alliances that fortified its position across the Mediterranean. However, the reliance on mercenaries and cavalry also came with its pitfalls. The very success of these tactics sowed seeds of discontent within the ranks of traditional Roman soldiers. The legions, composed of citizens who fought for their homeland, began to feel overshadowed by the reliance on foreign fighters. This tension grew, particularly during times of crisis, when Rome faced internal strife and external threats simultaneously. The balance between mercenaries, cavalry, and legions became increasingly delicate, as loyalty and trust were tested on multiple fronts. The late Republic and early Empire witnessed a significant shift in the composition of the Roman army. As the empire expanded and the demand for soldiers grew, the traditional citizen-soldier model began to fade. The reliance on mercenaries increased, leading to a military that was less about Roman identity and more about professional soldiers motivated by pay. This shift would have far-reaching implications for Rome's future, as loyalty to the state gave way to loyalty to paymasters. The transformation of the Roman military, particularly its cavalry and reliance on mercenaries, marked a significant evolution in ancient warfare. The lessons learned during these turbulent times resonate even today, as nations grapple with the complexities of military alliances and the role of foreign fighters. The stories of these mercenaries and cavalrymen, their motivations, and their impacts on the Roman Empire provide a fascinating glimpse into a world defined by power, loyalty, and the relentless pursuit of glory. As we reflect on the Roman alliance, mercenaries and cavalry, it becomes evident that the strength of Rome was not solely built on its legions, but rather on a complex web of alliances forged through necessity and ambition. The mercenaries and cavalry were not merely footnotes in history, but pivotal players in shaping the destiny of an empire that would leave a legacy enduring through the ages. Their stories remind us that in the pursuit of power, alliances are often as crucial as the might of the sword. Imagine a time when the winds whispered tales of valor and the echoes of clashing swords filled the air. The medieval world was alive with legends, and among the most compelling were those that spoke of King Arthur and his noble knights. Yet, hidden within the tapestry of Arthurian lore lies a lesser-known but equally fascinating thread: the Sarmatians. Who were these enigmatic warriors, and how did they weave their way into the fabric of medieval myth? To understand the Sarmatians, we must journey back to the vast steppes of Eastern Europe, where these nomadic horsemen roamed. Emerging from the regions near the Caspian Sea, they became renowned for their cavalry and fierce combat skills. The Sarmatians, descended from the ancient Scythians, were a formidable presence, striking fear into the hearts of their enemies. They were not merely warriors, they were a culture rich in tradition, with a unique identity that would leave an indelible mark on history. As the Roman Empire expanded, the Sarmatians found themselves in direct conflict with its legions. Their battles were not just for territory, but for survival and sovereignty. Yet, these fierce warriors were more than just adversaries to the Romans. They were allies too. In the annals of history, we find accounts of Sarmatian mercenaries serving alongside Roman troops, blending their fierce warrior ethos with the disciplined tactics of the Roman legions. This relationship would lay the foundation for their connection to the legends of Arthur. In the 1st century AD, the Sarmatians began to migrate westward, their reputation preceding them. As they settled in new lands, their stories and customs began to intertwine with those of other cultures. Among these was the emerging mythos surrounding King Arthur, a figure who epitomized the ideals of chivalry, bravery, and noble lineage. The Sarmatians, with their equestrian prowess and warrior spirit, found their way into the Arthurian narrative, often depicted as the ideal companions to Arthur's knights. The historical record tells us that by the late 5th century, the Sarmatians had become a part of the landscape of Britain, brought there by the Romans, or perhaps migrating due to the pressures of the Huns. The tales of Arthur's Knights of the Round Table began to reflect the influence of these fierce nomads. One of the most compelling connections lies in the character of Sir Lancelot, often portrayed as the quintessential knight, valiant, loyal, and skilled in battle. Some historians argue that his character may have roots in the Sarmatian warrior ethos, embodying the qualities that both cultures revered. As we delve deeper into the legends, we encounter the fascinating story of the Sarmatian princess, a figure who stands at the intersection of history and myth. Her tale is one of courage and resilience as she navigates the tumultuous waters of political alliances and personal sacrifice. This princess, often linked to the figure of Guinevere, represents not only the romanticized ideals of love and loyalty, but also the powerful influence of women in these ancient narratives. In the lore, she is depicted as a warrior in her own right, fighting alongside her male counterparts and proving that courage knows no gender. Her character challenges the traditional roles often ascribed to women in medieval stories, offering a glimpse into the Sarmatian belief in equality among warriors. This narrative thread enriches the tapestry of Arthurian legend, reminding us that behind every great king there were equally great queens and warriors shaping the destinies of nations. The Sarmatians also brought with them a wealth of cultural practices that would influence the Arthurian legends. Their customs, rituals, and beliefs mingled with local traditions, creating a unique cultural fusion. The famous Round Table itself, a symbol of equality and brotherhood, could be seen as echoing the communal councils of the Sarmatian tribes, where leaders would gather to discuss matters of war and peace. This synthesis of ideas not only shaped the legends of Arthur, but also highlighted the interconnectedness of different cultures and the shared human experience of striving for honor and glory. As we explore the continued relevance of these ancient tales, we find that the themes of the Sarmatians resonate through the ages. The idea of the noble warrior, the fight for justice, and the enduring power of love are timeless motifs that continue to inspire storytellers across generations. In modern retellings of the Arthurian legend, we often see echoes of Sarmatian influence, reminding us that these ancient warriors are not merely relics of the past, but living figures within our collective imagination. Yet the question remains, why have the Sarmatians, despite their significant role in the formation of these legends, remained somewhat obscure in popular retellings? Perhaps it is because the narratives we cherish often favor the familiar over the foreign. The tales of Arthur and his knights have been romanticized and reshaped over centuries, often sidelining the contributions of diverse cultures like the Sarmatians. This oversight invites us to reconsider our understanding of history and legend, to seek out the hidden stories that lie just beneath the surface. As we draw closer to the end of our journey, we can reflect on the legacy of the Sarmatians within the grand tapestry of medieval lore. Their valor, culture, and influence can be seen not just in the stories of Arthur, but in the broader narrative of human history. The Sarmatians remind us that legends are not born in isolation, but are the product of countless voices and experiences woven together over time. So, as you recount the tales of King Arthur, let the Sarmatians be a part of that narrative. Recognize the fierce warriors who rode across the steppes, their spirits echoing in the hearts of those who fought for honor. Embrace the stories of the princess who defied convention, embodying the strength of her lineage. And remember, in every legend, there lies a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered, a reminder that our past is rich with diverse stories, each deserving of its place in the light. In the end, the Sarmatians are not just a footnote in the history of Arthurian legend, they are a vital part of the story. Their legacy, intertwined with that of King Arthur, serves as a reminder of the shared humanity that transcends time and culture. So, let us continue to explore these connections, for every legend we tell adds another layer to our understanding of who we are and where we come from. How often do we stop to consider the power of language? It shapes our identity, influences our thoughts, and connects us to our past. In this chapter, we delve into the intricate tapestry of language and tongue, revealing the fascinating Iranian connection that has woven its way through history, culture, and the very fabric of communication itself. Imagine standing amidst the ruins of Persepolis, where the echoes of ancient Persian are still faintly heard. The very stones seem to whisper tales of empires, of poets and scholars who revered the beauty of their mother tongue. Persian, or Farsi as it is known today, is not just a means of communication. It is a living testament to the artistic and intellectual achievements of the Iranian people. It carries with it the weight of centuries, embodying a rich heritage that transcends mere words. Language is a mirror reflecting the society from which it springs. Persian, for instance, has evolved through the ages, influenced by the myriad cultures that have touched Iranian soil. From the Aramaic of the Achaemenid Empire to the Arabic that swept across the region with the spread of Islam, each wave has left an indelible mark, enriching the language and expanding its lexicon. This linguistic evolution tells a story of resilience and adaptation, a narrative woven from the threads of conquest, trade, and cultural exchange. As we peel back the layers of Persian, we uncover a trove of poetry and literature that has shaped not only Iranian identity, but also the global literary landscape. The works of great poets like Rumi and Hafez are not merely relics of the past. Their verses continue to inspire countless souls today. Their mastery of language reveals an understanding of the human condition that resonates across cultures and generations. Their words, steeped in mysticism and love, have transcended borders, inviting people from all walks of life to engage with their profound insights. Yet, the Iranian connection extends beyond the poetic. The influence of Persian can be felt in various languages across the region, from Urdu to Turkish, each borrowing and adapting phrases, idioms, and even entire concepts. This linguistic interplay illustrates the interconnectedness of cultures that has defined the Middle East for millennia. It emphasizes how language serves not just as a tool for communication, but as a bridge that unites diverse peoples. Consider the vibrant marketplace of Tehran, bustling with life and color. Here, conversations flow in a symphony of dialects and expressions. Persian, with its melodic cadence, stands at the forefront, but surrounding it are the voices of ethnic minorities like the Kurds and Baloch, each contributing their unique linguistic heritage. This linguistic diversity enriches the cultural landscape of Iran, showcasing how language can cultivate a sense of belonging while also celebrating the mosaic of identities that coexist within its borders. Among these identities is the Persian script, a beautiful manifestation of language that reflects the artistic spirit of the Iranian people. The script, with its graceful curves and intricate dots, is not just a means of writing. It is an art form in its own right. The calligraphers, with their skilled hands and keen eyes, transform letters into visual poetry, capturing the essence of the words they inscribe. This tradition of calligraphy, revered for centuries, highlights the deep appreciation Iranians have for the aesthetic aspects of language. As we explore the Iranian connection to language, we must also acknowledge the efforts made to preserve and promote it in the modern world. In an age dominated by rapid globalization and technological change, the challenge lies in maintaining the integrity of a language that has survived tumultuous times. Schools and cultural institutions across Iran tirelessly work to foster a love for Persian, teaching the next generation the importance of their linguistic heritage. Through literature festivals and poetry recitals, the vibrancy of Persian is celebrated, ensuring that it remains a vital part of Iranian culture for years to come. In the realm of linguistics, Iran is also a treasure trove of dialects and regional languages. From the melodic tones of Gilaki in the north to the rhythmic patterns of Luri in the southwest, each dialect serves as a testament to the diversity of the Iranian people. These dialects not only enrich the Persian language, but also provide insight into the unique histories and experiences of the communities that speak them. They carry within them stories of migration, adaptation, and the enduring spirit of a people who have navigated the complexities of their environment through the prism of language. The significance of language in Iran is not solely confined to its borders. The Persian language has gained traction globally, becoming a medium of expression for Iranians in the diaspora. Communities across the globe have formed, each nurturing the language and culture of their homeland. Through literature, music, and art, they keep the spirit of Persian alive, ensuring that it continues to flourish despite the geographical distance. In coffee shops and homes, conversations abound, weaving a narrative that links these global communities back to their roots. In a world increasingly defined by digital communication, the Iranian connection to language faces new challenges and opportunities. Social media platforms have become a canvas for creativity, allowing young Iranians to express themselves in innovative ways. Persian hashtags trend alongside global movements, creating a dialogue that resonates far beyond the confines of traditional language boundaries. This digital renaissance not only revitalizes interest in Persian, but also showcases its adaptability, reflecting the dynamic nature of language in the 21st century. Yet, even in this digital age, the essence of language remains unchanged. It is a vessel for stories, a means to convey emotions, and a tool for building connections. The Iranian connection to language teaches us that every word carries weight, every phrase tells a story, and every sentence holds the power to bridge divides. It reminds us that language is not merely an academic pursuit. It is a living, breathing entity that evolves and adapts, just as the people who speak it. As we conclude this exploration of language and tongue, we are left with a profound understanding of the Iranian connection that runs deep within the heart of its people. Persian is more than just a language. It is a cultural legacy, a symbol of resilience, and a testament to the beauty of human expression. It invites us to reflect on our own connections to language, to appreciate the richness it brings to our lives, and to celebrate the stories it enables us to tell. In the end, we are reminded that language is a gift, one that transcends borders and unites us in our shared humanity. As we continue our journey through history and culture, let us carry with us the echoes of Persian poetry, the melodies of dialects, and the stories of a people who have embraced their language as a vital part of their identity. The Iranian connection to language is but one chapter in the vast narrative of humankind, a reminder of the enduring power of words and the bonds they create. A vast expanse stretches before us, a boundless sea of grass and rolling hills where the wind whispers tales of ancient warriors and their epic struggles. This is the steppe, a harsh landscape that has shaped the destinies of countless civilizations. Among them were the Goths, a people who rose to prominence in the turbulent twilight of the Roman Empire, but who were the foes that challenged their might. Today, we delve into the intricacies of the Goths' conflicts, uncovering the enemies of the Goths and the relentless wars that unfolded across the steppe. As the dust settled after the fall of the Western Roman Empire, the Goths stood poised at the edge of history, their ambitions stretching across Europe. Yet, lurking beyond the borders of their newfound domains were formidable adversaries. The Huns, fierce horsemen from the east, emerged as the most notorious of these enemies. Their arrival on the scene was nothing short of cataclysmic, sending shockwaves through the established order of the time. Imagine a stampede of thunderous hooves, a whirlwind of chaos sweeping across the plains as these nomadic warriors asserted their dominance. The Huns were unlike any adversary the Goths had faced before. Their reputation was built on speed, ferocity, and an unyielding resolve. They rode swift steeds, employing tactics that left their opponents bewildered and disoriented. Under the leadership of their most infamous chieftain, Attila, the Huns became a scourge upon the lands of the Goths and their allies. With a fierce glint in his eye and an army that struck like lightning, Attila's campaigns were marked by brutality and efficiency. No wonder the Goths trembled at the mere mention of his name. But what drove the Huns to such relentless aggression? The answer lies in the very fabric of their existence. The steppe was unforgiving, demanding that its inhabitants adopt a lifestyle of mobility and conquest. As they sought new pastures and resources, the Huns often found themselves clashing with neighboring tribes, including the Goths. It was a desperate struggle for survival, where only the strongest could thrive. The Goths, having settled into a more agrarian lifestyle, soon realized that their way of life was at stake. The Huns represented a primal threat challenging their very existence. As conflict erupted, the Goths found themselves in a precarious position. Faced with the ferocity of the Huns, they were compelled to make difficult choices. Some chose to flee, seeking refuge within the borders of the Roman Empire, while others prepared to stand their ground. This division among the Goths created a fracture in their society, leading to the emergence of two distinct factions, the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths. Each group would navigate their own path in the face of relentless opposition. The Visigoths, under the leadership of their king Alaric, sought to carve out a place for themselves within the crumbling remnants of the Roman world. They marched boldly into cities once thought impregnable, laying siege to Rome itself. The sack of Rome in 410 AD stands as a testament to their determination and resilience. In that moment, the Visigoths transformed from mere adversaries to a force that reshaped the very landscape of Europe. Yet even amidst their victories, the shadow of the Huns loomed large, a constant reminder of the challenges that lay ahead. Meanwhile, the Ostrogoths, led by the ambitious Theodoric, took a different approach. They sought to consolidate their power and establish a new order in the wake of the Hunnic threat. Theodoric, a shrewd tactician, recognized the importance of alliances. He forged connections with former Roman leaders and sought to build a kingdom that balanced both Gothic and Roman traditions. This was a masterstroke, allowing the Ostrogoths to navigate the treacherous waters of post-Roman Europe. But their aspirations would not go unchallenged. As the Goths grappled with their internal divisions and the relentless pressure from Hunnic incursions, another enemy emerged from the shadows, the Sarmatians. These warriors, skilled horsemen and fierce fighters, roamed the steppes, often clashing with the Goths over territory and resources. The Sarmatians were not merely adversaries, they were a reflection of the complex tapestry of cultures that existed on the fringes of the Gothic world. Their interactions with the Goths were marked by both conflict and cooperation, as alliances shifted like the winds on the steppe. The wars of the steppe were defined by fluidity, where loyalties were often temporary, and the landscape itself became a battleground. The Goths learned to adapt, employing strategies that drew from the diverse experiences of their enemies. They began to incorporate elements of horse warfare into their tactics, recognizing that survival depended on their ability to evolve. The very essence of combat on the steppe became a dance of strategy and instinct, where the line between friend and foe blurred in the face of survival. As we journey through this tumultuous period, we cannot overlook the role of the Romans themselves. The remnants of the Roman Empire, while weakened, were far from vanquished. They remained a formidable force, and their interactions with the Goths were often marked by both hostility and attempts at reconciliation. The Romans sought to maintain control over their territories even as they faced internal strife. The Goths, in turn, navigated the complexities of these relationships, recognizing that their survival depended on their ability to balance aggression with diplomacy. The battles that unfolded during this time were not simply military confrontations. They were the crucibles that shaped identities and forged destinies. The Goths, in their struggles against the Huns, Sarmatians, and Romans, began to crystallize their sense of self. They were no longer just a disparate group of tribes. They became a people united by shared experiences and the scars of war. The steppe served as both their battleground and their home, a place where the ideals of honor and bravery were forged in the fires of conflict. As the century turned, the Goths found themselves at a crossroads. The relentless tides of war had carved their mark, and the landscape of Europe was forever altered. The Huns, once a fearsome force, began to wane, their empire splintering under the weight of internal strife. The Goths, having faced the crucible of conflict, emerged not only as survivors, but as architects of a new era. The wars of the steppe had transformed them, shaping their identities and paving the way for future generations. In the end, the saga of the Goths and their enemies is a testament to resilience, adaptation, and the unyielding spirit of a people. As the dust settled on the steppe, the echoes of battle faded, but the legacy of those who fought endured. The Goths, once enemies of the Roman Empire, would go on to play a pivotal role in the shaping of Europe, a story born from strife, unity, and the relentless pursuit of a place in the world. In the vast tapestry of history, few regions have woven a narrative as rich and complex as the stretch from the Caspian Sea to the Danube River. This journey is not merely a geographical transition, it is a saga of cultures, empires, and the indomitable human spirit seeking connection and understanding. As we embark on this exploration, imagine yourself standing at the shores of the Caspian, the world's largest enclosed inland body of water, its waves whispering tales of ancient trade and migration. The Caspian Sea has long served as a crossroads, a shimmering expanse that separates Europe from Asia. This region has borne witness to countless stories of ambition and conflict. From the bustling ports of Baku to the fertile banks of the Volga, the Caspian has been a witness to empires rising and falling. It is here that the winds of history first beckon us, inviting our minds to wander through time. The first chapter of our journey takes us into the realms of the ancient Persians, who revered the Caspian not just as a resource, but as a vital artery of their empire. Imagine the caravans laden with silks and spices, the air thick with the scents of far-off lands as merchants traverse the Silk Road. The Persian Empire, at its zenith, stretched across 3 continents, and its heart thrummed with trade and culture. The Caspian Sea was not a barrier, it was a bridge connecting diverse peoples and ideas. As we move through the annals of time, we encounter the Mongol invasions of the 13th century. These fierce warriors, riding across the steppes, brought with them a tempest that reshaped the landscape of power and influence in this region. The aftermath of their conquests saw the emergence of the Golden Horde, a Mongol Khanate that dominated the area around the Caspian. Under their rule, the region experienced a fusion of cultures, as nomadic traditions blended with settled lifestyles. Yet, It was not just the Mongols who left their mark. The rise of the Russian Empire in the 17th century signaled a new era of ambition. The Russians sought to expand their dominion, looking southward toward the Caspian. The conflict between Russia and Persia culminated in a series of wars that would alter borders and identities. As we trace these historical threads, we begin to see how the very geography of the region shaped destinies. Transitioning from the Caspian to the Danube, we find ourselves in the heart of Eastern Europe, where the river flows like a silver ribbon through the landscape, linking diverse cultures and histories. The Danube has been a lifeline for countless civilizations, from the ancient Celts to the mighty Romans. Its banks have echoed with the footsteps of emperors, poets, and revolutionaries. In the shadows of the Danube, the grandeur of the Austro-Hungarian Empire once flourished. Picture the opulent courts of Vienna, where music and art thrived. The river was a crucial trade route, facilitating the exchange of goods and ideas, allowing cultures to intermingle. It became a symbol of unity amid diversity, a testament to the resilience of human connection. However, the Danube's story is not devoid of strife. The rise of nationalism in the 19th century brought forth tensions that would ignite into conflicts. As we delve deeper, we uncover how the river became a stage for power struggles, with borders shifting like the currents of its waters. The shadow of World War I looms large as empires crumbled and nations took form. The Danube, once a conduit of prosperity, became a witness to the heartbreak of war. Yet, amidst the chaos, hope emerged. The aftermath of war paved the way for new beginnings. The Treaty of Versailles and subsequent agreements sought to redefine national boundaries and foster cooperation. The Danube, now a symbol of reconciliation, became the focus of international efforts to promote peace and collaboration. The establishment of the Danube Commission in 1948 marked a new chapter as nations recognized the importance of working together for the common good. As we navigate through the 20th century, the river continues to symbolize resilience and renewal. The fall of the Iron Curtain in the late 1980s opened a floodgate of possibilities. Countries once divided began to embrace their shared heritage. The Danube became a canvas for cultural exchange, with festivals celebrating the diverse traditions that thrived along its banks. In this modern era, the landscape of the Caspian to Danube corridor is being transformed anew. We see the rise of initiatives aimed at fostering economic cooperation and sustainable development. The Caspian states and Central European nations are engaging in dialogue, working toward a shared vision of prosperity. Imagine the possibilities as trade routes are revitalized and cultural exchanges flourish once more. The journey from the Caspian Sea to the Danube River is a testament to the enduring human spirit. It is a chronicle of connections forged through trade, conflict, and cooperation. Each ripple in the waters tells a story of struggle and triumph, of division and unity. As we reflect on this journey, we are reminded that the threads of our past weave together to create the fabric of our shared future. As we conclude this chapter, we stand at the confluence of history and possibility. The Caspian and the Danube, while geographically distinct, are intricately linked by the stories of those who have traversed their waters. They remind us that the horizons we seek to expand are not merely physical, they are also the horizons of understanding, empathy, and collaboration. In the end, the journey from the Caspian to the Danube is more than a geographical exploration, it is a call to action. It urges us to embrace our shared humanity, to recognize that the rivers of our past can guide us toward a brighter future. As we look ahead, let us remember the lessons learned from the struggles and triumphs of those who came before us. As we navigate the waters of our own time, ever expanding our horizons, picture this: a vast expanse of rolling grasslands where the wind whispers secrets through the tall blades of grass. The sun rises, casting a golden glow over the steppe, illuminating a tapestry of colors that tells the stories of its inhabitants. Here, every hue, every stitch of fabric is imbued with meaning, a vibrant expression of identity, culture, and history. This is not just a landscape, it is a canvas of life woven together by the intricate costumes of the people who call it home. Costumes are more than mere garments. They are a profound reflection of who we are, where we come from, and the stories we carry with us. In the expansive steppes of Central Asia, the connection between identity and clothing is palpable. As we delve into the rich tapestry of costumes and identity, we embark on a journey that reveals the colors of the steppe, each shade a symbol, each design a narrative. Across the undulating hills, we find the nomadic tribes whose existence has long been intertwined with the land. For centuries, these communities have roamed the steppe, their lives dictated by the seasons and the herds they tend. The garments they wear are crafted from the very resources provided by their environment: wool from sheep, hides from camels, and silk from silkworms. Each piece is not only functional, but also steeped in tradition, passed down through generations. Among the most striking elements of these costumes is the use of color. Bright blues and deep reds dance together, representing the vast skies and the warm earth. Yellow and green reflect the lush pastures that sustain their herds. Each color is chosen not only for its aesthetic appeal, but for its significance. In many cultures, colors carry deep meanings. Blue may symbolize the sky, representing freedom and spirituality, while red can denote strength and courage. As we explore the significance of these colors, we come to understand that they are not merely decorative. They carry stories of ancestry and pride, showcasing the wearer's heritage and social status. The intricate patterns woven into the fabric speak volumes. They tell of the tribe's history, their struggles, and their victories. A young woman dressed in a brightly embroidered dress may be signaling her readiness for marriage, while an elder adorned in traditional regalia commands respect and reverence. However, the story of costumes is not just one of tradition. It is also a narrative of adaptation and survival. With the changing tides of history and the encroachment of modernity, the nomadic tribes of the steppe have had to find a balance between honoring their past and embracing the future. The introduction of new materials and styles has led to a fascinating fusion of tradition and modernity. Where once wool and leather dominated, we now see vibrant fabrics and contemporary designs slipping into the wardrobes of the younger generation. Yet, this blending of styles does not erase the rich history of these costumes. Instead, it creates new dialogues about identity, allowing the youth to express their individuality while still honoring their roots. A young man might wear a traditional tunic adorned with intricate embroidery, paired with modern jeans and sneakers, a bold statement of his heritage and his contemporary life. As we travel from one community to another, we witness the unique interpretations of costume across the steppe. In some regions, the costumes are heavily influenced by the natural environment, incorporating elements that reflect the surroundings. In others, we see the impact of neighboring cultures, infusing traditional attire with new motifs and designs. This cultural exchange is a testament to the resilience of these communities, their ability to absorb and reinterpret influences while maintaining their core identity. The textiles themselves tell a story of craftsmanship and skill. The art of weaving and embroidery is a revered tradition, often passed down from mother to daughter. The process is labor-intensive, requiring patience and precision. Each stitch is a labor of love, each pattern a reflection of the weaver's imagination and skill. It is in these delicate details that we find the heartbeat of the steppe, an intricate network of relationships, stories, and shared experiences. Moreover, the role of costume extends beyond personal expression. It acts as a bridge connecting individuals to their community and to the wider world. Ceremonial garments worn during festivals and rituals serve to unite people in celebration, reinforcing a sense of belonging. The vibrant colors and intricate designs are not just a feast for the eyes. They are a reminder of shared values, history, and cultural pride. As we delve deeper into this world, we encounter the significance of costumes in rituals and celebrations. Festivals are vibrant events, bursting with color, music, and dance. Here, costumes take on new life, transforming into symbols of joy and unity. During these gatherings, the steppe comes alive as families and friends come together, clad in their finest attire, each garment telling a story of its own. The dances performed under the open sky become a living tapestry, where each movement is a brushstroke, contributing to the overall picture of cultural heritage. But the narrative of costumes and identity is not without its challenges. The pressures of globalization and urbanization have led to a dilution of traditional practices as younger generations are drawn to the allure of modern fashion and lifestyles. The vibrant colors of the steppe risk fading into obscurity if not cherished and preserved. It raises vital questions. How do we maintain our cultural identity in an ever-changing world? Can tradition and modernity coexist harmoniously? These are the questions that linger in the air, sparking conversations among community members. Elders share wisdom, recounting tales of their ancestors and the significance of their traditional attire. They emphasize the importance of imparting knowledge to the younger generation, ensuring that the stories woven into their garments are never forgotten. Through workshops and cultural events, there is a renewed effort to celebrate and preserve the artistry of traditional costumes, breathing life into the age-old practices that define their identity. In this dance between heritage and modernity, we find hope. The steppe is alive with creativity, where artists and designers are reimagining traditional patterns and techniques. They are bridging the gap between the past and the present, creating contemporary pieces that resonate with young people while honoring their cultural roots. This innovation serves as a reminder that identity is not static. It is ever-evolving, reflecting the dynamic interplay between tradition and change. As we conclude our exploration of costumes and identity in the steppe, we emerge with a deeper appreciation for the intricate relationship between what we wear and who we are. The colors of the steppe are more than mere pigments. They are the essence of a culture, a lineage, and a shared humanity. Each thread, each color, is a reminder of the stories that connect us all. A vivid tapestry woven from the experiences, dreams, and aspirations of those who have walked this land before us. So, as we move forward into a world filled with diverse cultures and identities, let us carry with us the vibrant lessons learned from the steppe. Let us celebrate the beauty of tradition while embracing the richness of innovation, forging a path that honors our past and lights the way for future generations. In the end, the colors of the steppe are not just a reflection of a people. They are a universal language, speaking to the heart of what it means to be human. A glint of gold in the soft earth. Could it be a remnant of a lost civilization, or perhaps the final resting place of a powerful chief? Throughout history, the allure of buried treasure has sparked imaginations and driven countless individuals to seek their fortunes. Among the many tales of hidden wealth, few are as captivating as the treasures of the Sarmatian chiefs, ancient rulers who roamed the vast steppes of Eurasia. As we embark on this journey, prepare to uncover a saga woven with intrigue, valor, and the indelible mark left by these formidable warriors. The Sarmatians, a nomadic people known for their equestrian skills and fierce battles, inhabited areas that now encompass parts of modern-day Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan. They were not just warriors, they were artisans, traders, and a society rich in culture and tradition. Their chiefs, often adorned in elaborate golden regalia, were buried with their wealth, ensuring that their power and prestige would transcend the boundaries of life. Imagine, if you will, the vast steppes stretching endlessly under a wide blue sky, dotted with the silhouettes of horses galloping freely. The Sarmatian tribes thrived in this rugged landscape, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. Yet, beneath this seemingly tranquil surface lay the stories of their rulers, figures shrouded in mystery and buried with treasures that would ignite the curiosity of adventurers centuries later. One of the most extraordinary aspects of Sarmatian burial practices is the lavishness with which these chiefs were interred. As we delve deeper, we find ourselves standing at the graves of powerful figures like the legendary Sarmatian queen who is said to have led her people into battle. In her tomb, archaeologists have uncovered golden artifacts, intricately designed jewelry, ceremonial weapons, and even vessels that speak to a time when the Sarmatians dominated the region. Each item tells a story, a glimpse into a life steeped in both opulence and the harsh realities of their nomadic existence. Among these treasures, the golden adornments stand out. Crafted with astonishing skill, these pieces often featured intricate motifs inspired by the natural world, birds, animals, and swirling patterns that echoed the beauty of the steppes. As we examine these artifacts, we can almost hear the whispers of the past, the laughter of the chiefs, and the solemnity of their funerary rites. They were not merely items of wealth, they were symbols of power, identity, and an enduring connection to their ancestors. The Sarmatians were not alone in their quest for riches. They engaged in trade with neighboring civilizations, exchanging goods and ideas, creating a cultural tapestry enriched by interactions with the Greeks, Romans, and even the Persian Empire. This exchange is reflected in their burial goods, where Hellenistic influences can be found alongside traditional Sarmatian designs. Each artifact serves as a testament to their adaptability and the far-reaching impact of their culture. Yet amidst this wealth of knowledge and history, the question remains: what ultimately happened to these treasures? As the Sarmatian tribes gradually succumbed to the pressures of larger empires, many of their burial sites were lost to time, hidden beneath layers of earth and forgotten by history. However, whispers of their existence continued to circulate among treasure hunters and historians alike, sparking a modern-day quest that would bring these ancient riches back into the light. Fast forward to the present day, and we find ourselves amidst a resurgence of interest in Sarmatian treasures. Archaeological excavations have revealed sites that were once thought to be mere legends, where golden artifacts gleam once more under the careful hands of dedicated researchers. Each discovery reignites the flame of curiosity, inviting us to ponder the lives of those who once wielded such power and the legacies they left behind. In one such excavation, a team of archaeologists unearthed a burial site believed to belong to a Sarmatian chief. As they carefully brushed away centuries of dirt and debris, their hearts raced at the thought of what lay beneath. What they found was nothing short of extraordinary: a trove of gold and silver, intricately crafted weapons, and ceremonial objects that hinted at the rituals and beliefs of a long-lost society. This singular moment encapsulates the thrill of discovery, connecting us to a past that continues to intrigue and inspire. But the allure of buried treasure is not solely about the objects themselves. It is the stories behind them that truly capture our imagination. Each artifact carries with it the weight of history, the dreams and aspirations of individuals who once roamed the steppes, and the rituals that marked their lives and deaths. The Sarmatians believed in an afterlife, and these offerings were meant to accompany their chiefs into the next world, ensuring that they would retain their status and power even beyond the grave. As we explore these burial sites, we encounter tales of bravery, warfare, and the complex social structures of the Sarmatian tribes. The chiefs were not just leaders, they were embodiments of their people's spirit and resilience. Their burials reflected their status, with the most significant chiefs receiving elaborate tombs that resembled small houses, complete with offerings of food, drink, and weapons. These are not mere graves, they are portals to understanding a society that thrived on the edge of civilization. Yet, as we marvel at the treasures unearthed, we must also confront the ethical implications of such discoveries. The question arises, who truly owns these remnants of the past? As nations grapple with their histories, the treasures of the Sarmatian chiefs serve as a reminder of the shared human experience and the need for collaboration in preserving our collective heritage. In our quest to understand the Sarmatians, we uncover more than just gold and silver. We unearth the very essence of what it means to be human, the desire for connection, the pursuit of legacy, and the unyielding quest for meaning in our lives. The buried treasures of the Sarmatian chiefs invite us to reflect on our own histories and the paths that have led us to where we are today. As we conclude this exploration into the world of the Sarmatian chiefs and their buried treasures, we are left with a profound sense of wonder. These artifacts, resting silently beneath the earth, tell stories that transcend time, linking us to a vibrant past filled with courage, artistry, and the indomitable spirit of a people who once roamed the vast steppes. The allure of their golden treasures continues to captivate, reminding us that history, much like treasure, is waiting to be discovered, one story at a time. What if I told you that the Amazon rainforest, often called the lungs of our planet, holds secrets that challenge our understanding of history and civilization? This vast expanse, teeming with life and biodiversity, is also a battleground of ideas, where the past collides with the present. In this exploration, we embark on a journey to unravel the Amazon debate, a discourse that teeters between myth and memory, where ancient stories intertwine with modern realities. Imagine walking through a dense canopy, sunlight piercing through green leaves, illuminating the vibrant life below. The air is rich with the scent of earth and vegetation, a reminder of the interconnectedness of all beings. But beneath this serene beauty lies a complex narrative, one that speaks of civilizations long forgotten, of cultures that thrived in harmony with nature, and of the scars left by colonial encounters. For centuries, the Amazon was thought to be an untouched wilderness, a primordial landscape where indigenous tribes lived in isolation, practicing subsistence hunting and gathering. However, recent archaeological discoveries have painted a different picture. Evidence suggests that this vast region was home to sophisticated societies, skilled in agriculture, engineering, and environmental management. The myth of the Amazon as an empty land is being challenged by the memory of its vibrant past. The stories of the Amazonian civilizations are woven into the fabric of the landscape. From the geoglyphs of Acre, which reveal intricate designs carved into the earth, to the raised fields of the Llanos de Mojos, engineered to withstand seasonal flooding, these remnants tell us of a people who understood their environment deeply. They cultivated crops like manioc, maize, and various fruits, transforming the forest into a mosaic of agricultural abundance. Yet, how did these civilizations disappear, and why do their stories remain shrouded in myth? To comprehend the impact of European colonization, we must first look at the resilience of these indigenous cultures. For thousands of years they thrived, developing complex social structures and spiritual beliefs that honored the earth. However, the arrival of Europeans marked a turning point. The Amazon became a target for exploitation, as the allure of gold and the promise of land drove colonizers into its depths. Diseases wrought havoc on indigenous populations, and their ancient ways of life were disrupted. As we sift through the layers of history, we encounter the accounts of explorers who documented their journeys through the Amazon. Figures like Francisco de Orellana and José de Anchieta painted vivid pictures of a land rich in resources but inhabited by savages in their eyes. These narratives, steeped in colonial prejudice, often overshadowed the true complexity of Amazonian societies. They reduced thriving cultures to mere footnotes in the annals of history, a pattern that has persisted in contemporary discussions about the region. Yet the echoes of these ancient civilizations are not silent. Today, indigenous communities continue to fight for their rights, reclaiming their narratives and asserting their sovereignty over ancestral lands. The Amazon is not just a backdrop for stories. It is alive with the voices of its people, who have a deep connection to the land. This connection is rooted in a rich tapestry of traditions and knowledge passed down through generations, a living memory that defies the myths perpetuated by outsiders. As we delve deeper into the Amazon debate, we encounter the dichotomy of myth and memory. The myth paints a picture of a wilderness devoid of human influence, while the memory reveals a landscape shaped by generations of care and stewardship. This discourse is not merely an academic exercise, it has profound implications for how we approach conservation and land management today. In recent years, environmentalists and scholars have advocated for a more nuanced understanding of the Amazon. They argue that recognizing the historical presence of indigenous peoples in the region is crucial for sustainable development. By integrating traditional ecological knowledge with modern science, we can find pathways to preserve this vital ecosystem while respecting the rights of those who have lived in harmony with it for centuries. But the battle for the Amazon is far from over. Deforestation and climate change pose existential threats to this delicate ecosystem. As we face an unprecedented environmental crisis, the lessons from the past become ever more pertinent. The resilience of Amazonian societies offers insights into sustainable practices that can guide contemporary efforts to restore balance to the land. As we navigate through the complexities of the Amazon debate, we must confront the myths that have been perpetuated for centuries. The notion of the untouched wilderness is a convenient narrative, but it fails to capture the intricate relationship between humans and the environment. The Amazon is not a blank canvas. It is a living memory, shaped by the hands of those who came before us. In our quest to understand the Amazon, we must also listen to the stories of its inhabitants. Indigenous voices are often marginalized in discussions about the future of the rainforest, yet they hold the key to understanding its past and present. Their knowledge extends beyond mere survival. It encompasses a profound respect for the land and an understanding of its rhythms. As guardians of the forest, they offer invaluable wisdom in the face of ecological challenges. As we reflect on the Amazon debate, it becomes clear that the myths surrounding this region are not just relics of the past. They influence modern perceptions, policies, and practices that shape the future of the rainforest. Acknowledging the memory of Amazonian civilizations is not merely an act of historical rectification. It is essential for crafting sustainable solutions that honor both the land and its people. In conclusion, the Amazon is a living testament to the interplay between myth and memory. It challenges us to reconsider our assumptions about the past and to engage with the present in a way that respects the voices of those who have been historically marginalized. The stories of the Amazon are not just tales of survival. They are narratives of resilience, adaptation, and hope. As we move forward, let us embrace the complexity of this incredible ecosystem, recognizing that the lessons of the past hold the key to a sustainable future. The Amazon is not merely a backdrop, it is a vibrant character in the unfolding drama of our planet's history, and its story is far from over. Imagine standing on the windswept plains of ancient cultures, where the air is thick with the scent of smoke and the rhythmic beating of drums reverberates through the earth. In this place, rituals unfold that bind the living and the dead, steeped in the belief that the journey beyond this world is as significant as life itself. Today, we delve into the fascinating intersection of death, sacrifice, and the noble horse, a creature that has long held a revered place in human history. As we explore the rituals surrounding death, we will uncover the profound connections that these ceremonies reveal about humanity's deepest fears and enduring hopes. Throughout history, horses have been more than mere beasts of burden. They have been companions, symbols of power, and conduits to the divine. In many cultures, the horse represents the soul's journey after death. To honor the deceased, communities have engaged in elaborate ceremonies where horses are sacrificed, believed to accompany the spirit on its voyage to the afterlife. This practice raises vital questions about the meaning of sacrifice and the role of animals in our most significant transitions. Let us journey back to the steppes of Central Asia, where the nomadic tribes revered the horse as a sacred entity. Among the Kyrgyz and the Mongols, the act of burying a chieftain or a beloved warrior was often accompanied by the sacrifice of horses. The belief was that the spirit of the horse would carry the deceased across the vast plains of the afterlife, ensuring safe passage and a place of honor among the ancestors. In these cultures, the horse was not simply an animal. It was an extension of the self, a partner in life and in death. As we consider this connection, we find ourselves drawn into the world of the Scythians, a fierce warrior culture known for their exceptional horsemanship. When a Scythian noble died, it was customary to sacrifice horses in a grand burial rite known as the kurgan. These burial mounds were adorned with treasures and offerings, and the horses would be laid to rest alongside their owners, their bodies positioned in a way that suggested they would continue to run into the next life. Archaeologists have uncovered these ancient sites, revealing the remains of horses buried with their riders, their bones telling stories of loyalty, bravery, and the unbreakable bond between human and animal. Yet the practice of horse sacrifice was not limited to the steppes of Central Asia. Across various cultures, from the Celts to the Aztecs, the act of sacrificing animals, especially horses, played a crucial role in funerary rites. In Celtic traditions, horses were often buried with their riders, viewed as essential companions for the journey to the afterlife. The Celts believed that the horse possessed the ability to traverse the boundary between the living world and the realm of the dead, making it a vital participant in the rituals of death. In ancient Rome, the significance of the horse reached new heights, intertwined with the power dynamics of the empire. The Roman military elite would often sacrifice horses in elaborate ceremonies to honor fallen comrades. These rituals were not merely acts of reverence, they were also a demonstration of power, showcasing the might of the empire and its connection to divine favor. A noble's funeral procession might feature a team of horses, adorned and draped in finery, symbolizing the status of the deceased and the hope for their successful journey to the afterlife. As we examine these rich traditions, it becomes clear that the horse symbolizes more than just a mode of transportation. It embodies the essence of life and death. This relationship reflects humanity's deep-seated need to understand the mysteries of existence. The belief in an afterlife, coupled with the sacrificial acts that accompany death, reveals a profound understanding of mortality and the desire to forge connections with those who have passed on. In some cultures, the ritual of horse sacrifice is not solely about honoring the dead, but also about appeasing the spirits and ensuring a bountiful harvest or protection from misfortune. The act becomes a communal effort, uniting the living in a shared purpose. In ancient Siberia, for example, the indigenous peoples would sacrifice horses during significant ceremonies to invoke the spirit's blessings. The horses, adorned with colorful decorations, were led into the sacred space, their presence believed to bridge the gap between the human and spiritual realms. The act of sacrifice, while often seen as brutal or archaic by modern standards, is deeply rooted in the understanding of life's cyclical nature. By offering the horse, a revered companion, the community acknowledges the interconnectedness of all living beings. The horse becomes a vessel for communication with the divine, a symbol of the unending cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Transitioning from ancient practices to contemporary interpretations, we find that the reverence for horses continues to thrive in various forms. In some cultures, the spirit of the horse is honored through festivals and ceremonies that celebrate their role in human history. The modern-day Day of the Dead festivities in Mexico, for example, highlight the importance of honoring ancestors, where families create altars adorned with offerings, including representations of horses, to guide their loved ones on their journey. Yet the question remains, how do we, in our modern world, reconcile the rituals of death and sacrifice with our evolving values? As societies shift towards more compassionate views of animals, the act of sacrificing horses for ceremonial purposes has come under scrutiny. Many now seek ways to honor the past while embracing new ethical considerations. This evolution reflects a broader cultural shift towards understanding the sanctity of life, challenging us to find new ways to connect with the traditions that shape our identities. As we reflect on the tales of horses and sacrifice, we uncover a tapestry woven from the threads of human experience. These rituals, steeped in history, reveal the lengths to which people will go to honor their loved ones and the beliefs that bind them. The horse, a symbol of strength and loyalty, continues to resonate deeply within the human spirit, serving as a reminder of our connections to those who have come before us. In the end, the rituals of death remind us that while we may part from our loved ones, the bonds we forge endure, transcending the barriers of life and death. Through the stories of horses and sacrifice, we glimpse the profound ways in which humanity seeks to understand its place in the universe, embracing the mysteries of existence with reverence, courage, and love. As we move forward, let us carry these stories with us, honoring the legacy of the past while forging connections that will echo through the ages. The vast expanse of the steppes stretches endlessly, interrupted only by the silhouette of distant mountains and the occasional cluster of trees. Here the winds whisper stories of a time when power reigned supreme and empires flourished against a backdrop of unyielding nature. Yet beneath this serene surface lies a tumultuous history of decline and fragmentation, a tale of ambition, conflict, and the inexorable passage of time that transformed a once unified landscape into a mosaic of competing factions. Picture this: the Mongol Empire, at its zenith in the 13th century, sprawled across Eurasia like a giant, casting a shadow that enveloped vast territories. It was an era marked by unprecedented mobility, cultural exchange, and the establishment of trade routes that connected East and West. The legacy of Genghis Khan and his successors was profound, creating a complex tapestry of civilizations intertwined by commerce and warfare. But just as the sun rises, it must also set. The Mongol Empire, despite its strength, began to fracture, giving rise to a new chapter defined by decline. As we delve into the intricate details of this fragmented world, we must first understand the forces that propelled the Mongols from greatness to disarray. The empire was not merely a military juggernaut, it was a confluence of cultures, beliefs, and aspirations. The Mongols, originally a nomadic people, had adopted elements from the civilizations they conquered. They embraced the administrative practices of the Chinese, the artistry of the Persians, and even the religious philosophies of the regions they traversed. This cultural symbiosis was at once their strength and their Achilles' heel. The seeds of disunity were sown in the very structure of Mongol leadership. After the death of Kublai Khan, the last of the great Khans, the empire was divided among his descendants. Each faction, or khanate, sought to assert its dominance, leading to power struggles that would echo through the steppes for generations. The Golden Horde in the west, the Ilkhanate in Persia, the Chagatai Khanate in Central Asia, and the Yuan dynasty in China, each pursued its own interests, often at the expense of the others. This fragmentation not only weakened the empire's cohesion, but also laid the groundwork for external threats to exploit the vulnerabilities within. Imagine the scene. Rival Khans, once united under the banner of Mongol supremacy, now engage in fierce battles for territory and influence. The once mighty Mongol horsemen who had galloped across continents are now divided, their loyalty torn between familial lines and regional ambitions. As alliances shift like the winds on the steppes, the unity that once characterized the Mongol Empire crumbles into a patchwork of competing states, each vying for supremacy. The decline of the Mongols was not solely an internal affair. The emergence of powerful adversaries played a significant role in hastening their fragmentation. In the West, the rise of the Russian principalities marked a turning point. The princes of Moscow, once vassals of the Golden Horde, began to consolidate power and push back against their Mongol overlords. The Battle of Kulikovo in 1380, a decisive victory for the Russians, symbolized a pivotal moment in their struggle for independence. The Mongols, who had once instilled fear across the continent, found themselves increasingly on the defensive, their territory shrinking as a consequence of relentless resistance. To the east, the Ming dynasty emerged as a formidable force, determined to reclaim the lands once held by the Yuan. The Ming's military campaigns against the remnants of Mongol rule were relentless, pushing the Mongols further into obscurity. The once grand cities that had flourished under Mongol rule now lay in ruins, their glory faded as the new order rose to prominence. The cultural exchanges that had characterized the empire's height began to dwindle, replaced by a resurgence of local identities and traditions. As the dust settled on the battlefields, the remnants of the Mongol Empire found themselves at a crossroads. The once mighty khanates, now reduced to shadows of their former selves, were left grappling with the consequences of their fragmentation. Each khanate developed its own identity, yet they were haunted by the spectre of their shared past. The Golden Horde, for instance, evolved into a series of successor states, each claiming legitimacy from the legacy of the Mongol Empire, while struggling to navigate the changing political landscape of Eastern Europe. In Central Asia, the Chagatai Khanate faced similar challenges. Once a vibrant crossroads of trade and culture, it became a battleground for competing powers. The rise of Timur, or Tamerlane, in the 14th century marked a resurgence of Mongol power, albeit under a different banner. His conquests, often brutal and marked by a desire for vengeance, showcased the enduring legacy of the Mongols even as the empire itself lay in tatters. Timur's empire, while reminiscent of the Mongol ethos, was fundamentally different, a reflection of the fragmented world that had replaced the once unified Mongol Empire. In the midst of this decline, cultural and intellectual life did not vanish entirely. The remnants of the Mongol tradition persisted, influencing local customs and beliefs. The arts, literature, and philosophies of the steppes found new expressions, weaving the legacy of the Mongols into the fabric of emerging nations. The blending of ideas created a rich cultural milieu where the echoes of Mongol history continued to resonate long after the empire's political power had dissipated. As we explore this era of decline and fragmentation, we must also confront the paradox of legacy. The Mongol Empire, despite its disintegration, left an indelible mark on the world. The trade routes established during its height continued to facilitate exchanges, fostering connections that would transcend borders. The very ideas and innovations that flourished under Mongol patronage ranging from advancements in science to the dissemination of religious thought, persisted in various forms, influencing civilizations far beyond the steppes. In examining the shadows that linger on the steppe, we find a narrative that transcends mere decline. It is a story of resilience, adaptation, and the relentless pursuit of identity amidst the chaos. The fragmented Khanates, though diminished, carried forth the legacy of their forebears, grappling with the complexities of their history while forging new paths in an ever-changing world. The steppes, once the cradle of a great empire, became a canvas upon which the story of humanity continued to unfold, layered, nuanced, and forever influenced by the shadows of the past. As we conclude this chapter of decline and fragmentation, we invite you to reflect on the lessons embedded within this historical tapestry. The rise and fall of empires remind us of the transient nature of power, the intricate dance between unity and division, and the enduring impact of cultural exchange. The steppes, with their sweeping horizons and timeless beauty, stand not only as a backdrop for history, but also as a testament to the complexities of human experience, a narrative woven from the threads of ambition, conflict, and the shared quest for meaning across the ages. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the vast steppes that stretched endlessly towards the horizon. It was on these very plains that a storm was brewing, one that would change the course of history for many tribes and kingdoms. The Huns, a formidable force of nature, were on the move, and their arrival would spell doom for the Sarmatians, a proud people whose time was rapidly drawing to a close. Picture a world where cultures clash and empires expand like the ripples from a stone cast into a still pond. The Sarmatians, a confederation of tribes known for their fierce warriors and skilled horsemanship, roamed these lands long before the Huns arrived. They were not just a people, they were a way of life, a tapestry woven from the threads of tradition, valor, and the unyielding spirit of the steppes. But, as the winds of change began to swirl, the Sarmatians would face a challenge unlike any they had encountered before. The Huns emerged from the depths of Central Asia, riding their swift horses with a ferocity that left entire cities trembling in fear. Legends of their prowess spread like wildfire, tales of their archery skills that could pierce the heart of an enemy from unimaginable distances, and of their strategies that seemed to defy the very laws of warfare. The Sarmatians, who had once been the apex predators of these plains, soon found themselves staring into the eyes of a new predator, one that was not only fast but relentless. The time was the late 4th century AD. The Roman Empire, once a monolith that dominated the known world, was grappling with its own internal strife. As the legions were stretched thin, the Sarmatians saw an opportunity to expand their influence. But they were not alone in this endeavor. The Huns, driven by their own ambitions, had begun to push westward, uprooting tribes and civilizations in their wake. It was a collision course that would lead to one of history's most dramatic encounters. Imagine the tension that hung in the air like a thick fog as the Sarmatians prepared for what they believed was another conflict with a rival tribe. They had faced many foes before, each battle sharpening their skills and their resolve. Yet they could not have anticipated the ferocity of the Huns. As the two forces moved towards one another, the Sarmatians would soon discover that this was not just another battle. It was a fight for survival against an enemy that was unlike any they had faced. As the Huns approached, whispers of their approach spread through the Sarmatian encampments like wildfire. The bravest warriors gathered, their faces painted with the symbols of their tribes, their hearts beating in unison with the rhythm of the drums echoing across the plains. They were not just preparing for a battle, they were preparing to defend their way of life, their very existence against an unseen tide that threatened to wash them away. On the other side of the plains, the Huns readied themselves for conflict as well. Their leaders, fierce and cunning, understood the psychology of warfare. They knew that fear was a weapon as potent as any bow or sword. As they galloped towards their foes, they aimed not only to conquer, but to instill a sense of dread that would precede the sound of hooves. The Sarmatians, who prided themselves on their valor, would soon find their courage tested against an enemy that thrived on chaos and brutality. As the sun rose on the day of confrontation, the battlefield was set, a stark expanse of earth, where grass met dust, and the cries of warriors would ring through the air like a symphony of war. The Sarmatians, known for their cavalry charges, formed their ranks, eyes narrowed against the horizon. Yet, the Huns approached with a strategy that would shatter the traditional tactics of their adversaries. With a speed that seemed almost supernatural, the Huns unleashed a series of hit-and-run attacks, striking swiftly and retreating before the Sarmatians could mount a counter-offensive. This tactic, foreign to the Sarmatians who relied on their strength in numbers and the weight of their cavalry, began to erode their confidence. Each skirmish left them more disoriented, more vulnerable, as the Huns wove through their lines like shadows, elusive and deadly. The battles that ensued were not merely contests of strength, but brutal exhibitions of psychological warfare. The Sarmatians, unaccustomed to such tactics, were thrown into disarray. Warriors who had once ridden with pride now found themselves grappling with uncertainty. The Huns, relentless and unyielding, pressed their advantage, their war cries echoing across the plains, drowning out the Sarmatians' once steadfast resolve. As the days dragged on, the Sarmatians began to realize that this was not just a fight against another tribe. It was a fight against an existential threat. Families were torn apart, entire clans decimated, and the once proud horsemen of the steppes faced the grim reality that their way of life was under siege. The Huns were not merely conquerors, they were harbingers of a new order, one that would leave no room for the Sarmatians in the pages of history. In the midst of this turmoil, stories began to circulate among the Sarmatian ranks of hope, legends of their ancestors who had faced insurmountable odds and emerged victorious. Yet the weight of the present was heavy, and the spectre of defeat loomed larger with each passing day. The Sarmatians, who had once galloped fearlessly across the vast steppes, now found themselves retreating, their backs against the wall, as the Huns encroached upon their lands. The final confrontation loomed, a climactic clash that would seal the fate of the Sarmatians. The remnants of their tribes gathered one last time, determined to stand and fight for their heritage, their families, and their future. A fierce storm brewed overhead, mirroring the turmoil within their hearts. As the two forces faced off once more, the air crackled with tension, and the steppes bore witness to the last stand of a proud people. The battle raged on, and amidst the chaos, individual stories of bravery shone through. Warriors who fought valiantly, refusing to yield even as the Huns pressed forward with unrelenting ferocity. Yet, the outcome was all but certain. The Huns, now masters of the battlefield, surged forward, overwhelming the Sarmatians in a tide of arrows and hooves. As the dust settled, the echoes of the past reverberated through the plains. The Sarmatians, once a dominant force, found themselves swept away in the relentless tide of history. Their culture, their traditions, and their very existence were at risk of being erased, as the Huns carved their legacy into the annals of time. In the wake of this upheaval, the world would never be the same. The steppes, once alive with the sounds of Sarmatian warriors, would now echo with the legends of the Huns, a new chapter written in blood and valor. The coming of the Huns marked not only the fall of a people, but the birth of a new era, one defined by the relentless march of conquest and change. As we reflect on this chapter in history, we are reminded of the fragility of power and the relentless nature of time. The Sarmatians, though they may fade into obscurity, leave behind a legacy of courage, a testament to the human spirit's struggle against the tide of fate, a reminder that even in defeat, there is a story worth telling. In the annals of history, there exists a tale of resilience, survival, and the relentless pursuit of identity. Imagine a people, forged in the crucible of warfare and shifting alliances, who find themselves navigating the complex tapestry of a world dominated by empires. This is the story of the Sarmatians in Byzantium, a saga of warriors, survivors, and the indelible mark they left on the pages of history. The Sarmatians, a nomadic group from the steppes of Central Asia, were renowned for their equestrian prowess and fierce independence. In the centuries leading up to the rise of Byzantium, they roamed vast territories, their lives intricately tied to the rhythms of the land and the seasons. However, as the winds of change swept across Europe in the wake of the Roman Empire's decline, the Sarmatians faced an uncertain future. Picture, if you will, a Sarmatian warrior, clad in leather and fur, riding across the rolling hills of the steppes, his spear glinting under the sun. He is a symbol of his people's strength and nomadic spirit, yet the world around him is shifting. The Roman Empire, once a formidable neighbor, is crumbling, and the Sarmatians find themselves at a crossroads. They can either cling to their ancient traditions or adapt to the encroaching influence of the more settled societies to the west. As the 5th century dawned, the Sarmatians began to infiltrate the borders of the waning Roman territories. With the Huns advancing from the east, they sought refuge and opportunity within the empire's embrace. Yet, rather than merely seeking a sanctuary, the Sarmatians would become essential players in the complex political games of the Byzantine world. They were not mere refugees. They transformed into formidable soldiers, mercenaries in the employ of the empire, bringing with them a rich tapestry of culture and tradition. The Byzantine Empire, emerging from the ashes of the Roman world, was a mosaic of peoples and customs. It thrived on the confluence of diverse cultures, and the Sarmatians, with their unique martial skills, were soon recognized for their value on the battlefield. They became an integral part of the Byzantine military apparatus, serving alongside other ethnic groups, from the heavy cavalry of the Byzantines to the lighter, more mobile units of the East. Imagine the clashing of swords, the thundering of hooves, and the cries of warriors as Sarmatian cavalry charged into battle. They brought with them not just their weapons and fighting techniques, but also a way of life that would influence the Byzantine military structure. Their tactics, honed over generations of warfare, merged with the strategic innovations of the Byzantines, creating a hybrid martial culture that would shape the empire's military endeavors for centuries. Yet, their integration into Byzantine society was not without challenges. The Sarmatians, fiercely proud of their heritage, faced the delicate task of balancing their identity with the demands of their new homeland. They navigated the treacherous waters of cultural assimilation while striving to retain their unique customs and traditions. The tension between survival and identity played out in the lives of countless Sarmatians as they settled into the Byzantine world. In cities like Constantinople, they found new opportunities. The bustling markets filled with spices, silks, and the sounds of diverse languages offered a stark contrast to the vast steppes they once called home. Here, Sarmatians could establish themselves as traders, artisans, and soldiers, blending their nomadic heritage with the urban vibrancy of Byzantine life. The dynamic exchange of ideas and customs enriched both their culture and that of the Byzantines. However, the path of adaptation was fraught with peril. As the Byzantine Empire faced external threats from various fronts, the Sarmatians found themselves in the thick of the conflict. Their loyalty was continually tested, not only to the empire, but also to their kin and traditions. The battlefield became a crucible where bonds were forged and broken, where the essence of Sarmatian identity clashed with the demands of imperial service. With each conflict, the Sarmatian presence in Byzantium grew more complex. They were no longer just mercenaries, they became key players in the empire's politics. Their leaders, respected for their bravery and strategic acumen, began to hold positions of influence, negotiating peace treaties and forming alliances. The Sarmatians were not merely surviving, they were thriving, leaving an indelible mark on the Byzantine military and political landscape. As centuries passed, the Sarmatians transformed from fierce nomads into integral components of Byzantine society. Their descendants, born within the walls of Constantinople, began to embrace a hybrid identity, one that melded the rugged spirit of the steppes with the sophisticated culture of the city. They became artisans, scholars, and diplomats, contributing to the vibrant tapestry of Byzantine life. Yet the spectre of change loomed large. The tides of history are ever shifting, and as the Byzantine Empire faced new challenges, the Sarmatians would once again find themselves at a crossroads. The rise of new powers, the fragmentation of old alliances, and the relentless march of time would test their resilience. Would they continue to adapt, or would they cling to the vestiges of their past? In the face of adversity, the Sarmatians demonstrated remarkable tenacity. They became symbols of survival, embodying the struggle between tradition and change. Through wars, alliances, and cultural exchanges, they forged a legacy that would echo through the ages. The stories of their warriors would be recounted in the annals of history, their contributions to the Byzantine Empire forever etched in the collective memory of a people who understood the importance of survival in a changing world. In the end, the Sarmatians in Byzantium were more than just soldiers. They were survivors, navigators of a world that demanded flexibility and resilience. Their journey is a testament to the enduring human spirit, a reminder that even amidst upheaval, identity can flourish in myriad forms. As we reflect on their legacy, we uncover the profound truth that history is not merely a record of events, but a rich tapestry woven from the lives, struggles, and triumphs of those who dared to survive and thrive against all odds. Imagine standing on the vast rolling steppes of Central Asia, where the wind whispers ancient secrets and the earth cradles the remains of lost civilizations. Here, beneath layers of time, lie the kurgans, mysterious burial mounds that have puzzled archaeologists and historians for centuries. These monumental structures are not just graves. They are a testament to the societies that built them, reflecting their beliefs, traditions, and social hierarchies. As we embark on this journey, we will unravel the rich tapestry of history woven into the very fabric of these earthen mounds. Kurgans, often characterized by their distinctive circular or oval shape, are scattered across the landscapes of Kazakhstan, Russia, and Ukraine, standing as silent sentinels of the past. What stories do they hold? What can they teach us about the people who once roamed these lands? The term kurgan derives from the Turkic word meaning mound or hill, an apt description for these impressive structures that rise above the plains, often adorned with stones and surrounded by ditches. Their origins trace back to the Bronze Age, around 3500 BC, and they became particularly prominent between the 4th and 1st centuries BC, during the time of the Scythians and other nomadic tribes. As we delve deeper, we will explore how these mounds served as more than mere burial sites. They were also the focal points for rituals, marking the landscape with the presence of the dead and the divine. The kurgans vary significantly in size and complexity, reflecting the social stratification of the cultures that constructed them. Some are mere heaps of earth, while others rise majestically, reaching heights of several meters and encompassing elaborate burial chambers filled with grave goods. These items, ranging from pottery and weapons to precious metals, offer invaluable insights into the material, culture, and trade connections of ancient societies. One of the most striking features of kurgans is their alignment and positioning. Many are situated on elevated ground, providing a commanding view of the surrounding terrain. This strategic placement suggests that they were designed not only as final resting places, but also as markers of territory, signaling power and prestige. The very act of constructing a kurgan was a bold statement of identity, a way for a community to assert its place in the world. As we journey through the ages, we can see how the kurgans evolved alongside the cultures that built them. The Scythians, known for their fierce warrior culture and elaborate burial customs, left behind some of the most remarkable kurgans. Their tombs often contained intricate gold artifacts, showcasing their artistry and craftsmanship. The famous Pazyryk kurgan, discovered in Siberia, is a prime example of this opulence, where archaeologists unearthed frozen remains of elaborate woolen carpets, tattoos, and even the preserved bodies of horses, an astonishing glimpse into the life and death of this ancient people. However, the story of kurgans is not just one of grandeur and wealth. It also speaks to the human experience of loss and remembrance. Each mound represents a family, a clan, or a community mourning their dead. The rituals associated with burial were profoundly significant, often involving elaborate ceremonies that could last for days, where the living honored the departed through feasting, music, and storytelling. These practices highlight the deep connections between the living and the dead, a theme that resonates through cultures across the globe. Yet, as we uncover these archaeological wonders, we must also confront the challenges that come with their preservation. Many kurgans have fallen victim to the ravages of time, agriculture, and modern development. Looting remains a significant threat as treasure hunters seek to unearth the riches buried within. The very act of excavation is fraught with ethical dilemmas. How do we honor the past while ensuring its integrity for future generations? In recent years, advancements in technology have opened new avenues for archaeologists to study kurgans without disturbing them. Ground-penetrating radar, for instance, allows researchers to peer beneath the surface, revealing hidden chambers and artifacts without the need for excavation. This non-invasive approach not only preserves the integrity of these sites, but also provides a wealth of information that can reshape our understanding of ancient burial practices. As we reflect on the significance of kurgans, we must also consider their broader impact on our understanding of human history. These mounds are not isolated phenomena. They exist within a rich context of migration, trade, and cultural exchange. The movement of peoples across the steppes led to the sharing of ideas, technologies, and customs, creating a dynamic tapestry of interaction that shaped the development of civilizations. In a world increasingly disconnected from its ancient roots, the kurgans serve as a reminder of our shared humanity. They challenge us to consider how we remember our ancestors and what legacies we leave behind. Each mound stands not just as a tomb, but as a dialogue between the past and the present, an invitation to explore the depths of our collective memory. As we conclude our exploration of the kurgans, we are left with more questions than answers. What other secrets lie hidden beneath the earth? What stories await discovery in the countless mounds that remain unexcavated? The journey through these ancient burial sites is far from over. With each excavation, we inch closer to understanding the lives of those who came before us, illuminating the paths they forged and the cultures they nurtured. So, as we step away from the steppes and the kurgans that dot their horizon, let us carry forward the lessons learned from these silent monuments. They remind us of the enduring connection between the living and the dead, the importance of memory, and the intricate web of history that binds us all. In the end, kurgans are more than mere earth and stone. They are the echoes of humanity's eternal quest for meaning, belonging, and remembrance. As the sun sets behind the rolling hills of Eastern Europe, a whisper of ancient tales drifts through the air. The Sarmatians, A fierce nomadic people once roamed these vast landscapes, leaving behind echoes of their vibrant culture and timeless myths. Their legacy, though often overshadowed by more dominant civilizations, permeates the very fabric of the societies that followed. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the Sarmatian legacy and explore how their indomitable spirit resonates in the cultures and stories that shape our world. Imagine standing on the wind-swept steppes, the sound of hooves pounding the earth beneath you. The Sarmatians were skilled horsemen, their lives inextricably linked to these majestic creatures. They were not merely riders, but warriors, revered for their prowess in battle and their mastery of the art of horsemanship. With their long hair flowing in the wind and their unique attire adorned with intricate patterns, they became symbols of freedom and strength. As we delve into their history, we discover that their influence extends far beyond the battlefield. The Sarmatians inhabited a vast expanse of territory, stretching from the Black Sea to the Caspian Sea. Their interactions with neighboring tribes and civilizations, such as the Greeks and Romans, left an indelible mark on the cultural landscape of Europe. While the Sarmatians were often perceived through the lens of their martial capabilities, they were also a people rich in traditions, art, and spirituality. Their myths and legends, passed down through generations, offer a glimpse into their worldview and values. One of the most fascinating aspects of Sarmatian culture is their unique relationship with nature. They revered the land and its creatures, seeing themselves as stewards of the earth. This connection is beautifully illustrated in their mythology, where nature often played a pivotal role in the narratives of their gods and heroes. The Sarmatians believed that the spirits of the earth guided them, a belief that resonates deeply with many cultures worldwide. As we explore these myths, we can see how they reflect the Sarmatians' understanding of their place in the world and their respect for the forces that surrounded them. Among their myriad legends, the story of the great warrior Queen Tomyris stands out as a testament to their fierce spirit. Tomyris, who led her people against the Persian king Cyrus the Great, embodies the qualities of bravery and resilience. Her tale, steeped in themes of revenge and honor, speaks to the heart of the Sarmatian ethos. The story not only highlights the role of women in Sarmatian society, but also serves as a reminder of the enduring struggle for autonomy and justice. As we reflect on Tomyris, we are reminded that her legacy transcends time, inspiring those who dare to stand against oppression. The Sarmatians were also known for their elaborate burial customs, which offer insights into their beliefs about life and death. Archaeological sites reveal intricately designed tombs filled with grave goods, including weapons, jewelry, and even horses. These burial practices illustrate their belief in an afterlife, where the deceased would continue to exist in a world beyond. The rituals surrounding death were not merely about mourning, they were celebrations of life, honoring the legacy of those who had passed. This cultural practice echoes in many contemporary societies where the commemoration of the dead is woven into the fabric of communal life. As we traverse the landscape of the Sarmatian legacy, we encounter the indelible marks they left on language and folklore. Their interactions with other cultures led to a rich tapestry of stories that blend elements of Sarmatian myth with those of their neighbors. This cultural exchange is evident in the tales of heroes and mythical creatures that populate the folklore of Eastern Europe. From the fierce warriors of Sarmatian legends to the enigmatic figures of Slavic myths, we see how the echoes of Sarmatian culture have influenced the narratives that continue to shape our understanding of heroism, courage, and the human experience. The Sarmatians were also skilled artisans, and their craftsmanship is evident in the artifacts that have survived the passage of time. Jewelry, pottery, and textiles adorned with intricate designs showcase their artistic talents and cultural identity. These creations were not merely functional, they were expressions of beauty and personal significance. The Sarmatians' ability to blend form and function reflects a deep appreciation for artistry that resonates with contemporary creators. Each piece stands as a testament to their skill and creativity, reminding us that the artistry of the past continues to inspire and inform the practices of the present. In the annals of history, the Sarmatians eventually faded from the forefront, absorbed into the larger tides of migration and conquest. Yet their legacy remains alive in the collective memory of the peoples who followed. The stories of their warriors, queens, and mythical heroes persist in literature, art, and oral traditions. As we examine these enduring tales, we recognize the power of storytelling in preserving cultural identities. The Sarmatians, through their narratives, have left an imprint on the imagination of generations, a reminder that the past is never truly lost, but rather reshaped and reinterpreted through the lens of the present. As we draw closer to the conclusion of our exploration, it becomes evident that the Sarmatian legacy is not merely a relic of history, it is a living, breathing force that continues to influence us in myriad ways. Their principles of bravery, respect for nature, and the value placed on community resonate in cultures across the globe. The Sarmatians remind us of the importance of honoring our heritage while embracing the future. In modern times, we can see echoes of the Sarmatian spirit in various forms of art, literature, and even political movements that emphasize empowerment and resilience. The stories of Tamiris and her fellow warriors inspire those who fight for justice and equality, encouraging a new generation to rise against the odds. The connection to nature that the Sarmatians held dear speaks to contemporary environmental movements, where people strive to protect the earth and its resources for future generations. As we reflect on the journey we have taken together, we recognize that the Sarmatian legacy is not confined to the pages of history. It lives on in the stories we tell, the battles we fight, and the art we create. In every myth, every piece of craftsmanship, and every act of courage, the echoes of the Sarmatians resonate, reminding us that we are all part of a larger tapestry of human experience. Their legacy is a testament to the enduring power of culture and myth, a reminder that the past shapes our present and guides our future. As the sun sets once more on the horizon, let us carry forward the spirit of the Sarmatians, honoring their legacy as we forge our own paths through the annals of history. The echoes of their culture and myth remain alive within us, urging us to celebrate the richness of our shared human story. What if I told you that the vast, sprawling landscapes of the Amazon rainforest hold secrets that stretch back to the windswept steppes of Central Asia? Imagine this: an ancient civilization thriving in the heart of one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth, with its roots tracing back across continents and cultures. This is the story of how the threads of history weave together, connecting the Amazon to the steppes in a tapestry of legend and discovery. As we delve into this remarkable journey, we find ourselves wandering through the dense foliage of the Amazon, where towering trees stretch toward the canopy, their leaves whispering tales of the past. Here, indigenous tribes have lived in harmony with nature for centuries, cultivating the land and preserving their rich traditions. Yet beneath the surface of this vibrant ecosystem lies a connection that many have overlooked, a bridge linking the Amazonian tribes to the nomadic peoples of the steppes. The steppes, with their rolling grasslands and harsh climates, were home to formidable warriors and skilled horsemen who roamed vast territories. These nomads, often seen as the epitome of freedom, traded not only in goods but also in ideas and culture. The movement of peoples, whether through trade routes or migration, shaped the civilizations that emerged in these regions, leading to exchanges that would influence future generations. One of the most intriguing aspects of this connection is the concept of the shaman, a figure revered in both Amazonian and steppe cultures. In the Amazon, shamans are seen as the bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds, guiding their tribes through rituals and healing practices. Similarly, the steppe nomads revered their own spiritual leaders, who guided them through the harsh realities of life on the plains. These figures shared a common thread, a profound understanding of the natural world and a deep respect for the spirits that inhabit it. As we explore the legends that arose from these cultures, it becomes evident that the Amazon and the steppes are bound by stories that transcend time and geography. The epic tales of heroism, survival, and the struggle against nature reflect a universal human experience, one that resonates across the ages. The legends of the Amazon speak of the great serpent that guards the rivers, while the tales from the steppes tell of the mythical wolf that leads the nomads through the wilderness. Yet this connection goes beyond mere folklore. Archaeological discoveries in the Amazon have revealed evidence of complex societies that engaged in trade with distant cultures, including those from the steppes. Pottery, textiles and tools found in the Amazon bear striking similarities to those used by steppe tribes, suggesting that these two worlds were not as isolated as once thought. Trade routes may have crisscrossed the continents, allowing for the exchange of not just goods but ideas, beliefs and practices. The arrival of European colonizers in the Americas marked a turning point in this narrative. As the colonizers sought to exploit the rich resources of the Amazon, they disrupted the delicate balance that had existed for centuries. Indigenous cultures faced the threat of extinction, their legends at risk of being silenced forever. Yet, the resilience of these communities shone through. They adapted, preserved their traditions, and found ways to keep their stories alive, even as the world around them changed drastically. In the modern era, we witness a resurgence of interest in these connections. Scholars and researchers are delving into the shared histories of the Amazon and the steppes, striving to uncover the threads that bind these two cultures. Indigenous people are reclaiming their narratives, taking pride in their heritage and the stories that have been passed down through generations. They are embracing their identities, celebrating their legends, and asserting their place in the global tapestry of history. As we journey deeper into this exploration, we encounter modern-day shamans in the Amazon who embody the spirit of their ancestors. With every ritual performed, they honor the connection to the land, the spirits, and the stories that have shaped their existence. In the steppes, we meet descendants of the nomads who proudly share their traditions and tales, reminding us that the legacies of the past live on in the hearts of those who remember. The Amazon connection to the steppes is not just a tale of two distant lands, it is a reminder of the shared threads that bind humanity together. As we reflect on these connections, we are invited to consider our own place in the story. How do our own narratives intertwine with those of others? What can we learn from the resilience of cultures that have stood the test of time? In the end, the journey from steppe to legend is a testament to the power of storytelling. It is a celebration of the human spirit, the quest for understanding, and the enduring bonds that unite us all. The Amazon and the steppes, though worlds apart, resonate with echoes of shared experiences, reminding us that our narratives are intertwined in ways we may not yet fully comprehend. As we close this chapter of our exploration, let us carry with us the lessons learned from these remarkable cultures. Let us honor the stories of the past and embrace the connections that exist in our present. For in every tale whispered through the trees of the Amazon and sung on the winds of the steppes, there lies a piece of our shared humanity, waiting to be discovered, cherished, and passed down through the generations. What if I told you that some of history's most remarkable warriors, known for their unmatched equestrian skills, have faded into the shadows of time? The Sarmatians, often overshadowed by their more famous contemporaries, the Scythians and the Huns, were not just another group of nomadic horsemen. They were a formidable force in their own right, shaping the landscapes of Eastern Europe and leaving a legacy that still echoes through history. Today we embark on a journey to rediscover the Sarmatians, an enigmatic people whose story deserves to be told. Picture the vast steppes of what is now southern Russia and Ukraine, where endless grasslands stretch to the horizon. This was home to the Sarmatians, a people who flourished from the 5th century BC to the 4th century AD. They were not merely wanderers. They were skilled horse lords, masters of cavalry warfare. Their horses were their lifelines, their partners in both battle and daily life. The Sarmatians were known for their unique riding techniques and their ability to shoot arrows while galloping, skills that made them nearly invincible on the battlefield. But what drove these horse lords? The Sarmatians were not just warriors, they were a society rich in culture, art, and tradition. As we delve deeper into their world, we uncover a vibrant tapestry woven from the threads of their daily lives, beliefs, and values. They worshipped a pantheon of gods, and their spiritual practices were deeply intertwined with their relationship to the land and their horses. Their burial rituals reveal a profound respect for the dead, often accompanied by elaborate grave goods that speak of their status and achievements in life. Among the artifacts unearthed from ancient burial mounds or kurgans, we find intricate jewelry, weapons, and pottery, all hinting at a society that valued artistry and craftsmanship. These treasures tell us stories of their lives, of warriors, women, and children who thrived in a world that was as harsh as it was beautiful. The Sarmatians were fiercely independent, often resisting the encroachment of neighboring tribes and empires. The Romans, in particular, found them to be a formidable adversary, as the Sarmatians frequently raided Roman territories, leaving a trail of chaos in their wake. As we sift through the sand of time, we discover that the Sarmatians were not just warriors, they were also skilled diplomats. They forged alliances and engaged in trade, exchanging goods such as horses, furs, and metalwork with the civilizations they encountered. This adaptability was crucial for their survival as they navigated the complex web of relationships that existed across the Eurasian steppe. Yet, despite their prowess in both warfare and diplomacy, the Sarmatians gradually became less visible in the historical narrative. One of the reasons for their decline can be traced to the rise of the Huns in the 4th century AD. As the Huns swept across the steppes, the once dominant Sarmatians found themselves pushed to the brink. Their territories were invaded, and their way of life was threatened. The Huns, with their ruthless tactics and superior numbers, overshadowed the Sarmatians, leading to a dramatic shift in power dynamics across the region. The Sarmatians, once the horse lords of the steppe, gradually diminished in prominence, their legacy obscured by the ferocity of their successors. Yet, the Sarmatians did not vanish without a trace. They left behind a rich legacy that influenced future generations. Many of their customs and practices were adopted by the tribes that followed, blending into the cultures that emerged in the wake of their decline. Their equestrian skills and martial traditions can be seen in the practices of later nomadic peoples as well as in the military tactics of emerging empires. As we explore the threads of history, we begin to understand how the Sarmatians shaped the world around them, even as they faded into obscurity. To truly grasp the essence of the Sarmatians, we must also turn our attention to the role of women within their society. Contrary to many contemporary cultures, Sarmatian women were not relegated to the background. They played active roles as warriors, often defending their homesteads and engaging in battle alongside their male counterparts. This unique aspect of Sarmatian culture challenges our understanding of gender roles in ancient societies and highlights the complexity of their social structures. Women were not only warriors but also leaders, healers, and custodians of tradition, ensuring the continuity of their people's heritage. As we navigate through the remnants of Sarmatian life, we also encounter the stories of their encounters with other civilizations. The Sarmatians were known to have interacted with the Greeks, Persians, and Romans, each meeting leaving an indelible mark on their identity. The Greek historian Herodotus spoke of the Sarmatians with a mix of admiration and wariness, portraying them as a fierce and noble people. This portrayal, though coloured by the lens of Greek culture, hints at the respect they commanded in the ancient world. The Sarmatians also contributed to the rich tapestry of cultural exchange that defined the ancient world. Their trade routes connected east and west, facilitating the movement of goods, ideas, and peoples. As we study the artifacts that have survived through the centuries, we see the influence of Sarmatian craftsmanship in the objects of neighbouring cultures. Their intricate metalwork and stunning jewellery not only served practical purposes, but also became symbols of status and identity. As history marched on, the Sarmatians faced the inevitability of change. The rise of the Byzantine Empire and the spread of Christianity marked a significant turning point in the region. The once vibrant Sarmatian culture began to dissolve as new powers emerged, and their nomadic lifestyle was challenged by the encroachment of settled societies. Yet, the spirit of the Sarmatians endured, whispering through the stories passed down through generations and echoing in the landscapes they once roamed. Today, as we stand on the brink of rediscovery, the Sarmatians beckon us to remember them. Archaeological excavations continue to reveal new insights into their lives, shedding light on a society that was both resilient and dynamic. By studying their remains, we gain invaluable perspectives on the complexities of human existence and the interconnectedness of cultures throughout history. In the end, the story of the Sarmatians is not one of defeat, but rather a testament to the enduring spirit of a people who navigated the challenges of their time with grace and strength. As we close this chapter on the forgotten horse lords, we invite you to reflect on the legacy they left behind, a legacy that continues to inspire and remind us of the richness of our shared human history. The Sarmatians may have faded into the background, but their impact resonates through time, waiting to be remembered and celebrated once more.